So what do you wait?
What's happening?
Let
me move this just a hair. There we go. We will be live on the air in just a minute.
8080. This is your special invitation to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust seminar. Be sure you and your family are properly protected, even if you already have a trust. Learn how to avoid losing an inheritance to predators, like divorcing spouses, lawsuits, creditors, government agencies, and the IRS.
Okay, last commercial, and then we're on.
Tuesday, January 28th, from 2 to 3 p.m. at the Courtyard
My Disney World Buzz Lightyear cup.
Free event, call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE, 855-352-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show.
Hey, guys.
Call the show
It's the 22nd already.
Dial 1-888-GO-KANE. 1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE. 1.
Yes, yes. All righty. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. That's right, on the radio since 1977. We are live in Morning Drive weekday mornings from 6 until 9 a.m. with overnight rebroadcast 7 nights a week. That's right. Midnight till 6 a.m. So Monday through Friday, the Steve Kane Show is on the air from midnight till 6 a.m. Midnight till 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, the Steve Kane Show airs midnight until 9 a.m. Overnight rebroadcasts continue on the weekends from midnight to 6. And, you know, at the first of the year, we made some changes to our station lineup. And both overnights and live, we're on 3 FMs now, 3 FM radio stations, as well as our AM station. So Monday through Friday, from midnight until 9 o'clock in the morning, you can listen to us live on the radio on AM 1470, as well as 103.9 FM, 95.3 FM, and 96.9 on the FM dial. So I even have a hard time keeping track of how many stations we are on, but you can always go to stevekaneshow.com. They are listed there. 1470 AM, 103.9 FM, 95.3 FM, and 96.9 FM from midnight until 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, with overnight rebroadcast midnight till 6 a.m. on those stations as well. Our website, stevekaneshow.com. This is the most pro-Donald Trump radio show in America, in fact, in the world. You will never hear me criticize Donald Trump. Was yesterday not a great day? Oh, my God. They were just, I'm sorry, I took the Lord's name in vain. Please forgive me. That was a slip. I meant to say goodness or gosh, and I did that. But yesterday was exciting. I mean, it was exciting, and it was only about procedure. They haven't even gotten into the meat of anything yet, and it was exciting, wasn't it? Were you guys excited? I was not expecting yesterday to be exciting at all. I was expecting it to be terminal, and I didn't leave it all day. I watched it all day long. You know, I think there's a lot of satisfaction inside of me, and I think probably a lot of you on the Trump train as well, that we're back in charge of this process. When I say we, I'm talking about Republicans, Trump, Adam Schiff and Jerry Nadler, a couple of corrupt politicians who would fit in like in Argentina in 1959 as opposed, you know, something like that, where all the corrupt politicians go. I mean, they are just corrupt public officials who are abusing the powers of their office for whatever their personal agendas may be. It's just insane. And they are completely out of control now. We are in control. And I turned on the television and was watching before the proceedings began, and Nadler and Schiff and all the rest were standing out, and they just were whining. Before the day even began, they were whining about an unfair process. Before the process even began, right? Which I really liked. And I think there's a lot of personal satisfaction that the Democrats, for the first time in this whole impeachment process, have not gotten their way. And there's something, I don't think there's anything wrong with us having personal satisfaction that we can vote them down. And we did it yesterday. I think it was fun. It was exciting. It's about time. And I loved it. Mitch McConnell, I watched his opening statement, And I'll talk about this a little later in the show, but Mitch McConnell really spelled things out about witnesses and everything. We'll talk about that. Your thoughts, your calls certainly are welcome. Our number is toll free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE 1, 888-465-2631. Good morning. You're on the radio. Oh, hold on, I got to turn it on there. Yeah, you're on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I watched a couple rounds yesterday. If it wasn't for Jay Sekulow, I think it would have been terminal.
If it wasn't for Sekulow?
Yeah, he was great. I mean, that guy, he was so good. And I'm pretty sure that, was Pam Bondi there on the tape?
You know, I didn't even notice Pam Bondi. I would think being a blonde, she would have stood out. I did not notice her.
I thought I saw her, but I'm pretty sure I did, but I wasn't sure. But, yeah, I mean, and Adam Schiff, oh my God, he can't stop lying. I mean, yesterday he said that the president wasn't innocent. Where does this come from? What is he smoking?
Well, I'm not a doctor or anything, but when I look at Schiff up there talking, he just does not look like a sane person to me. He doesn't look like he's all together.
No. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the stuff that comes out of his mouth, it's like, I'm like 7 more months of this.
It's not going to be 7 months. It's going to be a couple weeks of this. But, like he, with the text messages yesterday, till November? Oh, no. They're going to, yesterday, the Democrats lost time and time again. Every time there was a vote, they lost. And there's going to be a lot of losing. They're going to come out of this losers. That's why they're whining about the process, because they know they're going to lose. But, Adam Schiff, he got busted again, giving false information about the text messages with Z. We'll talk about it. To lie like that and to misrepresent time and time again on live national television to the American people and have a look on his face like that, that's just not a sane person. That's someone that's off on another place.
Well, you take care, Brian. Have a great day.
Yeah. I did notice, though, that everyone, including Jay Sekulow, bought brand new suits. They all had new suits on yesterday. And although I'll tell you, now I may be wrong about this. I'm a big Jay Sekulow fan. He's the president's attorney. I used to watch him on Periscope a lot when I was on Periscope. And now I may be wrong about this, but it looked to me like his hand was shaking a little bit when he was up there talking with his papers. Did you notice that? Anybody out there notice it looked like Jay Sekulow's hand was shaking?
No, I did not. I was looking at it right in his face.
I saw his hand because he had his papers turning. I wouldn't blame him to be nervous. I don't know how many people were watching yesterday.
Nervous.
Well, who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be?
He has the same, he's a very private guy. I'm sure he's got someone following him.
Well, I'll tell you another. Jay Sekulow is great. You're right about Jay Sekulow, but the White House, I don't remember the guy's name, but the White House lawyer, the White House counsel, he's spectacular too. He's the one who told Jerry Nadler, "You're not in charge here." Yeah, he's spectacular. He told Jerry Nadler, "You're not in charge here." I love that. It's nice to have some power in the process again. Yeah, all right. Where are you calling from, by the way? Where are you at? Where are you located?
I'm in Boca Raton.
Oh man, it's cold this morning in South Florida. It's 41 degrees this morning when I woke up.
42 degrees there.
42.
Yeah, I work early in the morning, so that's why I call you.
It's awful. This cold, I don't like it. All right, take care, man. Thanks for the call. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Nick in Baltimore. Oh man, we're whining. It's 41 degrees here in South Florida. What is it in Baltimore right now?
It is in the 30s. It's a low 30s.
Well, I can't handle its global warming. This climate change, global warming's got to stop. It's too cold outside.
I know. Well, you got to get through February. Better.
Well, my problem is, as a Floridian, I don't own any socks unless I'm like wearing like a suit or something. So I wear, shoes without socks. I do not own socks. It's 41 degrees and it's pretty cold to go. When in Florida, your blood does thin out, and we're not accustomed to this type of weather that you guys call summer. But 41 degrees is pretty brutal. But wasn't yesterday a great day?
Oh, it was great. And the guy's name is Pat Cipollone. I think.
Oh, Cipollone. Yeah, I love him. He's great.
Oh yeah, he laid Schiff. He laid Nadler out.
Yeah. 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 Well, yeah, go ahead.
Upset and apprehensive, but I feel a lot better now.
Well, because the Republicans are standing up. And, when Mitch McConnell came up and he said no one is going to dictate the process here in the Senate except United States senators, I thought that was great. That made me feel good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I hate to say I felt good and all that, but we've been so out of control in this process in the House of Representatives, the way that Schiff and Nadler were treating Republicans, not letting them call witnesses, not letting them ask questions of the witnesses that the Democrats called, and to see us be able to be in charge and have some say in this whole impeachment affair, it feels good. We shouldn't be embarrassed by that. We need to be in power a little bit. What's been going on is disgusting.
Yeah, and the thing the big takeaway here is by watching that. I don't know if I'm going to watch I don't know if I'm going to watch as much today because I can't take the Democrats, ranting and raving all day.
I know. It looks like they're talking about 3 days. Today, each side they're spreading it out over 3 days. So, yeah, I know it'll be rough. Well, Kellyanne Conway, when she was on with that creep Chris Wallace with Brit Hume and Martha, she made a very good point late in the day. She said that Schiff was repetitive, and I didn't realize it till then, but he says the same thing over and over. Every time he goes up, he repeats the same thing.
Yeah, he does, and he lies constantly, like you're saying. But I tell you what, after watching that yesterday, I feel very confident.
Yeah.
Very confident.
Well, the Republicans are standing up and taking charge and not being if John McCain were still with us, it'd be a whole nother impeachment trial, though. Whole nother one. I think Trump would be in trouble if McCain was there.
Well, perhaps, but I don't know. Trump really knows what he's doing. He's brilliant. He's like 13, 14 steps ahead. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I mean, he's the only guy that can withstand this kind of barrage of garbage that's being.
And he knows how to control the media. Trump knows how to control the media. Yesterday, he took a little shot at Greta Thunberg, and she was in the audience. He called her a fortune teller, and she was in the audience. He took a couple jabs at her. He knew she was out there, and what I would suspect Trump was doing, because she's big in the worldwide media, in particular Europe. He took all this impeachment right out of the stories in Europe while he's over there. And it's all about him attacking Greta Thunberg while she was in the audience. If you look at the British headlines, there's so much in the European headlines about that. He knows how to. But the other thing that Trump does, and you see this back in the days of The Apprentice, he surrounds himself with the best, and that team up there is just spectacular. And I really am so happy how the White House counsel and Jay Sekulow are standing up to these creeps, and they're doing a great job.
I got to tell you one more thing. Did you get the message I sent you about Stern?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, when was that Stern saying he would never vote for a Democrat because they're communist, or was it socialist? When did he make that comment?
Really not sure, but my sister found it. But I played that, and then,
Yeah, well, Howard Stern, though, he had Hillary on his show a few weeks ago, and he's been really hard on. Listen, Howard Stern was born and raised in New York, and and there are not a lot of Jews that are born and raised in New York that vote Republican. I mean, it's just part of it's ingrained in the brain. So, Howard, so I have more respect for Howard Stern than people can realize. He's people won't understand this, but he's far superior than Rush Limbaugh. He's what he does is talk radio. It's not. I know they call him FM shock jock, and that may be. But what he does is talk radio in the style of Bob Grant, and and I've heard him talk about that, and he's really great. And a lot of people, I'm not saying Rush isn't great, don't misunderstand me, but Howard Stern, when Rush Limbaugh first got big in the 90s, I was watching something on television, I can't remember what it was, and they went up to Howard Stern and they were talking to him about Rush Limbaugh, and he says, that guy's on in the middle of the day. There's no competition. He says, I go up against every legendary morning show in America, and I beat every one of them. So there's no comparison between the two of them. But when I hear him do politics and talk about how great Mayor Pete is and things like that, it's hard to listen to.
It is a little bit of showmanship, though, too. You know.
Well, and some of it's also trying to get the interviews. Interviewer. I think Howard Stern is the best interviewer in America of anyone. I mean, he's the best interviewer, radio, television, anything. He's the best. Because I hear him interview people I've never heard of or people I'm not interested in, and I'm fascinated. Except Madonna, who has no personality. There was a Madonna interview, and Stern couldn't even do anything with that. But he's angling. He wants to have Mayor Pete on the show and these people, and so I understand a lot of what he does is well, you know, what happened yesterday, Nick, it was just procedural, you know, things yesterday, but to see the Republicans pretty much united and standing up to the Democrats is great. You know, the Democrats have always been corrupt. This is not new, and Republicans prior to Trump would always cave to them. And now that they're standing up to the Democrats, it's nice to see.
No.
Yeah.
Had it their way for many, many years, and it's changing now. With Trump, had it not been for Trump, it would never have happened.
No, and, well, listen, I got to run for a break, Nick in Baltimore. Thanks for the call. It's 23 minutes after the hour. We'll be right back to your calls after the break. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. That's right. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
You like to save money each and every month? Of course you would. We all want to save more money. But how? By calling I Will
Yeah, he did vote
Advisors.
with the Republicans.
At 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. And have their expert team review your homeowner's policy. I Will Advisors will review your policy at no charge. Most homeowners never review their policy, but it should be reviewed every year. You commercial property owners, same goes for your property insurance policy. So what are you waiting for? Call I Will Advisors and start saving money. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Denture wearers, are messy adhesives ruining the taste of your food? Is it painful for you to eat? Does the constant denture movement affect your speech? Are you always worried that your dentures will fall out while you're talking or laughing? Do you have sore spots? You are not alone. These are common problems that can be solved simply with dental implants. This is Steve Kane, and I want to introduce you to Brighton Dental Care, where the Kane family goes for all our dental needs. Brighton Dental Care doesn't want cost to stop you from being able to eat the foods you love again and live in comfort. That's why, for Steve Kane listeners, they're offering implants, get this, for just $3,500. That includes 2 implants plus
12 degrees?
denture.
Oh my
Now,
gosh.
if you go to a dentist in Boca,
This is a pretty
or an
brutal day.
Aventura, they're going to charge you $6,000 to the exact
Pretty brutal
same
day in Florida.
implants and denture. That's right, $6,000, but at Brighton Dental Care, just $3,500, and that includes the 2 implants plus your lower denture. Laugh and live with confidence. Call Brighton Dental Care at 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633, and online at brightondentalcare.com. Be sure to ask about special discounts for our military veterans.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
All right, I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. By the way, watch the live video stream of the show each and every day on YouTube. Just search Brian Craig on YouTube. I live stream on YouTube each and every morning, all 3 hours of the show. If you miss a part of the show, you can always go back and catch it. I also upload my podcast to my YouTube channel. That's Brian Craig on YouTube. And I'm always popping in and out on YouTube doing live streams randomly all the time. And also follow me on Instagram, Brian Craig Show on Instagram. I not only post a lot of pictures on Instagram of my daily travels. I do a lot of Instagram live videos. When I'm running around and I'm going to do a quick live stream, I do it on Instagram Live. So if you follow me on Instagram, Brian Craig Show, you can get those. And there's a chat room there that's interactive. And go to my Instagram stories. You'll see a lot of videos, including the one of when I got into my very cold, freezing car this morning in the driveway of my house. So that's Brian Craig Show on Instagram. All right, let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning.
Oh, Al the John. This is the man who is not invited on the Steve Kane Trump 2020 victory cruise. Hey, how you doing, Al?
I had a data breach on my computers, and so I was going to call in yesterday, but I spent the whole 3 hours of your show trying to fix some problems with my computers. But
what happened with your computers? What happened?
I had a data breach.
A data breach?
My
Well, I got to tell you, Al, I've started using, ExpressVPN is now a sponsor of the Steve Kane Show, and which is incredible. I use it on all my computers, all my devices, my iPad, my phone, my iMac, my MacBook, and you can save 49% off when you use the link at stevekaneshow.com, expressvpn.com/Kane Radio, and you can safely and securely browse the web. In fact, right now I'm on a server in the UK. Sometimes I use a server out of Japan. I just switch around the world all the time, and everything's completely encoded and safe. So expressvpn.com/Kane Radio, 49% off on ExpressVPN there. The link's at stevekaneshow.com. All right, Al, rough day for Democrats yesterday. Oops, excuse me, I just...
Anyway, it's not wise to pick on Greta Thunberg. You think it's wise to pick on her? It's a very poor move on Trump's part.
Well, no. You don't hear me talk about Greta Thunberg. I don't. I feel sorry for her. I think she's being exploited by her own family. But no, what I was talking about, Al, is how Trump understands how to control the media narrative. And here he is on this important trip. And to get impeachment out of the news around the world, he starts taking jabs at Greta Thunberg while she's in the audience watching him speak. And that captures the headlines around the world instead of all this impeachment nonsense. He just knows how to manipulate the media is all.
Well, you call it nonsense, but come next Wednesday, we'll take another vote for the witnesses, and don't be surprised if some of those witnesses are approved come next Wednesday.
Well, I'm fine with witnesses. I am fine. I know that a lot of Republicans, including Mitch McConnell and others, were talking against witnesses yesterday. If witnesses end up happening, I'm excited about witnesses.
They're excited.
Oh, I love it. There's nothing, to me, the most entertaining thing to watch is a good televised trial. Yeah.
Well, you like to make excuses for Trump, but he did create.
What is wrong with your phone? Your phone is all. Has there been a breach on your phone as well?
Does that sound better?
No, there's a lot of static. It sounds like the days of cordless phones.
This is the iPhone 11 I'm calling you from. So I'm at the bars. I got 4 bars.
Okay, but you have a full deck. You got 4 bars, but I don't think you're playing with a full deck today. You sound depressed. You sound depressed, Al.
The doctor's name, Lemansky, is she giving you good therapy lately?
I'm not in therapy right now. Believe it or not. But she has in the past, yeah.
You will need it because Trump won't be in office.
Okay.
He's not gonna get thrown out of office, because of the trial. But there will be 4 or 5 Republicans or more.
Yeah.
Will vote to have him removed, and losing 4 or 5 Republicans. That's my prediction. That 4 or 5 of them will, Richard Burr. Richard Burr.
I got to tell you, you sound, so you've given up on the impeachment. You're moving on to November. So you believe this is a waste of time. He's going to be acquitted.
Not a waste of time.
But you're talking about November, and we're in the middle of the trial of it. You sound depressed.
No, I'm happy. He's a cancer on the Republican Party. He's going to cause 10 senators to lose their jobs. I mean,
Well, then you should be happy. That should make you happy. You want a cancer on the Republican Party. Then why are you sounding so down today? You sound so down.
no, you can pick up when I had lack of sleep. I only got 4 hours sleep last night. When I got
Oh, I got another sponsor for you for that. Hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Mitch Matez. I get 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, and here I am, wide awake and fully functional. Go talk to you about hormone replacement pellet therapy.
I'm a dozen years older than you. When I was in my 40s, I could get by in 4 or 5 hours sleep.
Yeah, well, obviously you can't now. Dr. Matez could help you, Al.
Well, anyway, I'm surprised that you're excited with the way this trial's going because it's not going well.
I know it's not for the Democrats. Al, I would love to hear you. I would love to hear you whine and everything, but this connection's just so bad. I got to run. But try. You can call. I'll give you what. You can call back later if you got a better connection. Okay? Because I want to hear you. I want to hear your depression and whining and trying to convince yourself of different things. We've just got such a bad connection. All right. Thanks for the call. He can call back because not a lot of liberals have the guts to call in right now. You're on the radio. Oh, hey, Richie the bus driver. Hey.
I'm going to get you crazy because I watched it all the way till 11:30 last night. It was still going on. Do you know how long it was going on?
Yeah, till 2 a.m.
And I looked at it and I analyzed it, and then I listened to the pundits and that Rosenberg, the lawyer, and I feel the same way. A horse race isn't run in the beginning of the race, but if you're going to look at one day, the Democrats outsmarted us totally once again.
Oh my gosh!
And you don't see it, which is a shock to me. All that we were on was procedure, and they were in the nitty gritty of their case. They even had the videos and the testimony, and they spent every moment of the prime time and every moment of their time delivering the case to the American.
Yeah.
Kept talking about procedure.
Well, see, this is, Richie, but this isn't a regular trial. All the jurors have made up their mind. It's
Schumer outsmarted us. I'm sorry.
hold on a second here. American consumption. The only people really watching this, Richie, are people that follow news and politics. Most people in America at night are watching primetime television or Hulu or something. They're not. The only people that are really watching this impeachment and following it are people like you and me whose minds are already made up. They're not swaying anyone.
I understand what you're saying. But they really played to whoever was watching who didn't have any brains. But it was all, we were on procedure and they were on a case. They already started to...
So what? So what? And then look what happened. As Schiff got busted again, giving false information about the text messages, So I don't think that they did that. You're correct. But what good did it do?
Smarter than they won.
Who says that they won? Other than you, who says that they won?
They outsmarted us, I said.
But who else says that other than you? Who else says that?
Sal Rosenberg, the lawyer that's a pundit on Fox, who's pretty good. And he said, you got to be objective about this, man. I mean, for yesterday, Schumer really pulled it off pretty good for what he had.
Are you kidding? He had nothing. He got nothing. They lost every vote, and as I said,
but what he did by losing his amendments, which were one by one, it took 2 hours.
Yeah, yes.
And they had 2-hour infomercial. They were prepared.
Yeah.
Videos and everything for every 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we had 20 minutes of procedure.
Steve Kane show.
They took up all their time. If you look at how much they spoke and how much we spoke.
I understand. So I don't understand how you think that what they did. Who did they sway? Did they sway anyone?
Not me.
Well, who did they sway? Even Romney was voting with. Even Romney was voting with Republicans yesterday. That snake Romney was with us yesterday. So I don't know what's going on in your mind. Steve Kane Show.
Listen, they were all the Republicans stuck together.
That's correct.
It's procedural vote.
Okay, Richie. You don't like to feel good. You don't like to feel good. You like to feel bad.
Talking about that, I'm being honest, man.
Okay.
Objective.
Yeah.
They put that case in.
Now, did you see Sekulow, Jay Sekulow?
Yeah,
Did it look like his hand was shaking to you, though? He did great, but
I'm not talking about, none of our lawyers look like that, and they use legal.
Go back to
they
bed,
use
yeah.
their legal terms to the American people.
yeah.
Their legal beagles are right on the dime, and
Yeah.
they're 50% right. But then the emotional portion of the trial yesterday, whatever you want to call it, the Democrats won the emotional point.
There was no emotional point. There was no emotional point. Richie, I gotta run for a break, but I think we're gonna change Richie's name. I think we should change Richie's name from Richie the bus driver to Richie the buzzkill.
No, I'm good. I'm being honest. I am.
That's good. That's good.
I gave yesterday to the Democrats for outsmarting us.
Now, I'm going to disagree. All right, Richie, I got to run for a break. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. We're a little late for the break. We'll break right now and be back. Don't go anywhere.
Did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Donald Trump here. You're listening to the most pro-Donald Trump radio show in America, The Steve Kane Show. I love this show. Melania and I listen all the time. There's no better way to get the word out about your business than advertising here. Make America great again and advertise your business on The Steve Kane Show.
Thank you, President Trump. Call 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 888-465-2631. Meet with me, Brian Craig, and Steve Kane, and we will be hearing about you and your business on the longest-running radio show in Florida, The Steve Kane Show, 888-465-2631. Attention seniors, have you protected you and your family from financial ruin? You are invited to Attorney Barry Siegel's free Medicaid planning seminar. Learn how to prevent running out of money before you run out of life, being forced to spend down your assets, how to avoid nursing home seizure of your assets, and more. This free Medicaid planning seminar is Tuesday, January 28th at 10 a.m. at the Courtyard by Marriott in Boca. To attend this free event, call 1-855
All right, coming back.
Estate, 1-855-352-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for it.
All righty, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Right back to the phones. You're on the radio. Good morning. Hey.
I want to start off by giving kudos to Richie the bus driver. Usually, you guys are just, all over each other without any independent thought. But I got to give him props this morning for giving it to you the way it really is. And I just want to say, I think the Republicans, the best analogy I can come up with, and I don't have anything against Republicans, but, with the Republicans and everybody who supports Trump,
they're like the single mom or dad who meets the new girlfriend, and the new girlfriend starts abusing the kids. And when the kids start complaining about the abuse, the parents are too blind to see what's going on, and they'd rather the children be destroyed than wake up and face reality.
Okay, now slow down. Hold on. Okay, no. Well, you can help me see reality. You know, it's 42 degrees outside here in South Florida, so maybe my brain's a little frozen and I'm not seeing things clearly. And this strange analogy you use, who is the individual who's the abusive dad? Is it Trump? Who's the abusive person here in your analogy? Who's the abuser?
No, these are what I'm speaking to are the enablers of the abuse.
Okay, who's abusing and who is enabling abuse? Trump must be the one doing the abusing.
Trump has abused his power and the Constitution.
The Constitution.
The Republicans, I mean...
Okay, slow down here. This is great. We got a constitutional scholar on the line. Hold on. We've got a constitutional scholar on the line with an expertise in all of this. You say President Trump has abused his power and the Constitution. What did he do that is an abuse of the Constitution?
He has lied to the American people. He has obstructed Congress, and he fails to realize that they are co-equal.
No, they're not co-equal. They're not co-equal. My wife and I are married. We have a partnership. We're co-equals in our household. They're different branches of government with separate powers. But, no, slow down a little bit. You say that he abused the Constitution of the United States. As opposed to a vague generality, as you just gave me, give me a specific thing that President Trump did, okay, that violated the Constitution, which would be breaking the law.
Okay, it's so evident. I mean, to use a personal lawyer to go to another country, okay? And try to dig up imaginary dirt on your opponent.
Okay, where is that a violation of the Constitution? The President of the United States sending a personal representative. Where is that in the Constitution that there's a violation with him having a personal representative represent him somewhere else? Where would that? Where in the Constitution would I find that? It's unconstitutional to do that.
You know, with all due respect to you, sir, at this stage of the game, if you have not realized anything that has gone on with this administration, no one's going to make you, or no one's going to...
Oh, so you don't know. So you don't know. So as opposed to saying you don't know what you're talking about, you want to accuse me, okay? You say that he violated the Constitution, right? Which is a set of laws. What specific constitutional, whatever, name it, did he violate?
Not paying attention is going to be your biggest mistake. And
I'm paying attention to, I'm hanging on your every word. I'm hanging on your every word. I've got my iPad right here. Tell me how he violated the Constitution. I'll look it up. I'll read the Constitution to you so we can find. I don't want to be supporting a criminal who violates the Constitution, as you said President Trump did. Well, then tell me what he did. What did he violate in the Constitution?
You see, this is exactly why we need term limits.
We do. 2 terms for president.
Comfortable with what they're doing and where they are.
So you don't know. You don't know what he did. So you don't know. You say he violated the Constitution, but you don't know how. Yeah.
That.
Well, it is sad that you would call up and make an accusation like you made, and you don't have an example. You know, when somebody commits a crime, it's clear. O.J. Simpson killed Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. It's clear. BTK, serial killer. When a crime happens, you know it, you see it, it's clear. And with you, murder's illegal. With you're not able to point to what law he broke. You say he violated the Constitution, but you can't tell me what of the Constitution he violated.
The simple fact that Mitch McConnell, all Mr. McConnell did last night for all those hours was say, I want to table the matter. I want to table the matter. I want to table the matter, while the Democrats outsmarted them and presented their
There's the talking point.
asking for witnesses.
That's the talking point.
Things that the Democrats said to the Americans.
Okay, what is the Okay, so the Democrats made their case yesterday. What is the Democrat case that was made yesterday? What case did they make so brilliantly, you said, since they outsmarted Republicans? That's the talking point.
They made the case that there is no argument against having witnesses and documents. And it's a clear obstruction of all the things that they were asking for. You know, even the lawyers got up there and just lied about, oh, well, if they wanted information, they could have got it during their...
Well, yeah, that's what they did. They could have called witnesses and all of this. But no, you say they made their case yesterday. That would be the case against President Trump. What case against President Trump did the Democrats make yesterday? Because I've seemed to have missed that.
All the information they had was from the Freedom of Information Act case against the government.
You know, this is really sad because you think you know a lot, and you think our president's a criminal, but you can't name a crime that he committed.
Once again, think about this for 1 second. All the information that was presented was obtained via Freedom of Information Act.
But having information doesn't... Lots of people have information, okay? It doesn't mean there was anything wrong. So what did President Trump do that was a crime? What did President Trump do that was criminal? What crime did President Trump commit?
This is where you guys are going to get slaughtered.
I just want to know, what crime did President Trump commit?
God.
What crime did President Trump commit?
It's all laid out, man.
Well, then tell me. It was laid out to you. You saw it. Can't you tell me? What crime did President Trump commit? And he hung up. And you know what's sad about that is that caller is not being dishonest. I know a lot of you will think he's lying. He's not. He thinks, see, he's a victim of the left-wing propaganda and the mainstream media. He thinks the president's a criminal. And this conversation is the first time he was actually asked, name the crime. And he can't do it. And he's confused and he's frustrated. But the president's a criminal, but he can't tell us what the crime is. Oh, he violated the Constitution. What did he do that violated the Constitution? Where's it? He has a private attorney. We're entitled to have legal representation. I don't understand. So that guy's not a liar. He's just been brainwashed by the mainstream media and the Democrats. It's 49 minutes after the hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Oh, man, what an exciting day. We'll take a break and be back. Don't you go anywhere.
Know that your skin is your largest organ, yet it's probably the most neglected. Living in South Florida means having an annual checkup for skin cancer is vital. We live in the Sunshine State after all, and our skin bears the brunt of the sunshine. It's time to have your annual skin checkup.
I am three subs away from 3,900 on YouTube. So if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. If you could get me over that 4,000 hump today, I would appreciate it.
Dr. Mendez is caring and very knowledgeable. Your annual skin cancer exam is covered by Medicare. Dr. Mendez also takes most other insurances. Steve Kane recently had his annual skin cancer checkup. It was easy breezy. Dr. Mendez examined him from head to toe, took off a few things, and now Steve is good to go. Call Dr. Mendez right now at 954-431-7681. 954-431-7681. When you call,
just 3 away from 3,900.
She takes extra good care of Steve Kane listeners and will get you an appointment fast. Early detection of skin cancer can save your life. Call Dr. Mendez right now at 954-431-7681. 954-431-7681.
Attention homeowners, this is Scott.
Well, all of you can do that. Ask all your Facebook friends to come on over to YouTube.
Perhaps even eliminate your electric bill altogether. We do this by making your entire home energy efficient, by upgrading some or all of the following: roofs, doors, windows, insulating your attic, AC systems and ducts, hot water heaters, and even adding solar. Energy-efficient improvements that actually pay for themselves over a short period of time. Our program is designed to make the savings on your electric bill pay for all or part of your low monthly payments. The PACE program is government-sponsored and gives you up to 30 years to pay. Requires no credit check, no money down, no income verification, and no payments for up to 18 months. You only need to be current on your mortgage and taxes for the last 3 years to qualify. Energy savings and hurricane solutions made easy. Call 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500 to start saving money now.
This is Adrienne Kane, Steve's daughter, and I want to tell you about my MyPillow mattress. I was talking to Dad, and I was telling him I wasn't sleeping at night. I was tossing and turning all
Well, thank you,
night long.
Rochelle.
I had an old, worn-out, lumpy.
Please don't talk about food. I
mattress
can't eat
that
until I
was
get
so
off the air.
uncomfortable. I wasn't getting any sleep.
It'll make me
A couple
hungry.
of days later,
And I've got over
there was a
2
knock
hours
at
to
the
go.
door, and it was a MyPillow mattress. I slept on it that night, and ever since.
See,
I've been
every
sleeping all
time
night.
I
No
ask
more tossing,
for
no more
subscribers,
turning,
a
and
liberal
when
or
the
two will
alarm goes off in the
unsubscribe. So I
morning,
just
I'm
lost a
ready to
sub.
go and well
They'll, you know, that's what the
Your
liberals do.
kids,
See, that's how the left
grandkids,
operate.
Spouse or yourself the gift of a good night's sleep with a MyPillow mattress. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. When you use the promo code KANE, you can save up to $300 off your MyPillow mattress. They come in all sizes.
Liberals are miserable. They always want to try to bring people down. That's how they feel. I know.
And be sure to use the promo
Thanks,
code
Nick. Yeah.
KANE, K-A-N-E, and give the gift of a MyPillow mattress. Worth its weight in restful sleep.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show. You know, the MyPillow, I got to tell you, MyPillow are just incredible products. They are incredible, incredible, incredible products. My house is a MyPillow home, and Valentine's Day, no greater gift for Valentine's Day than MyPillow products. And that MyPillow mattress you heard Steve's daughter Adrienne talk about, that mattress, you can get up to $400 off the MyPillow mattress when you use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. What greater gift for your wife or girlfriend, right? Or your boyfriend and husbands than a mattress for Valentine's Day. Save up to $400 off. How much you save depends on the size of the mattress when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout. The 2-for-1 MyPillow special is still in effect. You buy one MyPillow, you get one free when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com. And there's a lot of other great specials, too, including the body pillow, which is normally $89.99. And you can actually, when you use the promo code KANE, there's an offer there, you can get it for $19.99. That's right, when you use the promo code KANE. Now, you can also take advantage of all of these offers and order by phone. The phone number is listed at stevekaneshow.com. Call 1-800-716-4879. Support the Steve Kane Show and the most pro-Donald Trump corporation in America, and that's Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Again, you can order at mypillow.com. Use that promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And also, you can order by phone, and when you order by phone, make sure you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, to get those deals. 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. The left, and you heard it with that last caller, they're obsessed with talking about the founders and the Constitution. My entire life, I have heard the left at all levels, whether it's a school teacher, college professor, a voter, or a politician in the media. The left have hated our Constitution. They've been disgusted by our founding fathers. They call them slave owners. Barack Obama and others, they would tell you that the Constitution was written by white slaveholders for the benefit of maintaining white supremacy. How many times have you heard that? Now they're wrapping themselves around the Constitution because this is what the left do around the world. Whenever the fascist liberals take over anywhere, whether it's the House of Representatives or the Soviet Union, when they took over Russia, they embrace the heroes and icons and those admired of that country and make them their own. I give you a great example here with the La Raza open border crowd, right? They do the same thing with Cesar Chavez. They wrap themselves around Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez agreed with Trump on border security. Cesar Chavez believed that illegal labor coming into America from across the southern border in Mexico was hurtful because it took union jobs away. And Cesar Chavez actually was involved with patrolling the border to stop illegals from jumping the border. Cesar Chavez agreed with Trump when it comes to border security on our southern border. But the left have Cesar Chavez as their guy. They don't even know what they're talking. That's what they do. And they're doing the same thing with the Constitution, the same thing with the founders right now. They think if they say Constitution and founders enough, that it'll sound constitutional and something that the founders would believe. And that's just not the way it is. It's just not the way it is. And, so far as them making their case, this heard it from two callers now, the talking point, Richie the bus driver and that last caller, the Democrats outsmarted the Republicans. That's the talking point of the day, apparently. Democrats outsmarted the Republicans. They did talk about their case and arguments against Trump yesterday. There was nothing new, and it was a rehash of what we've been hearing. And although the common thought is that if you repeat a lie often enough, people will believe it, I think people are tired of the Democrats. I think they're tired of these arguments. People in America vote their pocketbook. If they're doing well financially, that's what most people worry about. Most people don't worry about the news cycle. Most people worry about if they're going to be able to pay their bills next year. Okay? And the economy is booming. President Trump has the best employment numbers of any president of my lifetime, and the economy is on fire. This is literally the roaring 20s under Donald Trump again. Hopefully it turns out better in 2029 than it did in 1929. But we're in the roaring 20s right now because of Trump. People vote their pocketbook. You don't hear that phrase anymore in the news because they know it's true. And one of the president's team said it right on the money yesterday. Not only are they going after the legitimacy of the previous election, they're trying to influence the next one. Now, my apologies. I went a little long on some of those calls and got behind on our break schedule. And I have to take the top of the hour break on time so that I can be on time for the rest of the show. Because if we get backed up on breaks, it means the segments are very, very short, and I can't do that. I don't want to do that. So I am going to take the break at the top of the hour on time. Your calls are welcome. Your observations, your thoughts on all of the events of the day. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, no matter where you were listening, no matter where you were watching. 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. All your calls and thoughts are welcome. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back after this.
6.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Homeowners, would you like to save money each and every month? Of course you would. We all want to save more money. But how? By calling I Will Advisors. That's how. At 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. And have their expert team review your homeowner's policy. I Will Advisors will review your policy at no charge. Most homeowners never review their policy, but it should be reviewed every year. You commercial property owners, same goes for your property insurance policy. So what are you waiting for? Call I Will Advisors and start saving money. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
That's not true. They're there.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities. I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
If you suffer from excruciating back pain or sciatica, pay careful attention to what I'm about to tell you. According to a study in the medical journal Spine, back surgeries to alleviate back pain frequently backfire, leaving the patient in more pain than before they had the surgery. A second study from the University of Cincinnati College of Medicine provides clear evidence that 74% of surgeries for back pain fail. But there is an end to your suffering. There's a solution to your problem waiting for you with Dr. Troy Lamaski. Dr. Troy Lamaski is my personal chiropractor, and if the name sounds familiar, it should. He's the brother of Dr. Janae Lamaski. Dr. Troy specializes in the elimination of back pain, sciatica, joint pain. He does it quickly, easily, and without surgery or pain medication. While he can help you with your back and neck pain, Dr. Troy also provides treatment for the hips, the shoulders, the knees. If you've been in a car accident, any type of injury, or slip and fall, the pain won't go away, well, if you want to get back to your old self, you want to call Dr. Troy. His number is 954-463-3036. That's 954-463-3036. Online at drtroylamaski.com. Tell him that Steve Kane sent you.
How can I help you?
Attention seniors, have you protected you and your family from financial ruin? You are invited to Attorney Barry Siegel's free Medicaid planning seminar. Learn how to prevent running out of money before you run out of life. Being forced to spend
I gotta run, but I
assets,
appreciate
how to avoid nursing home seizure of your assets, and more. This free Medicaid planning seminar is Tuesday, January 28th at 10 a.m. at the Courtyard by Marriott in Boca. To attend this free event, call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE, 1-855-352-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, Steve Kane Show. You call the show toll free. Dial 1-888-GO-KANE. 1. That's 1-888.
Hey guys, it's hour number 2. It's begun. My name's Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE 1. We're talking about the impeachment trial. Republicans had a great day yesterday. President Trump had a great day yesterday. And the Democrats were defeated yesterday. They're claiming victory because they're going to stretch that 24-hour opening over 3 days instead of 2. Okay, claim your victory on that and act like you're all excited. I don't know how they're going to do today because they didn't finish until 2 a.m. I couldn't have stayed up through all of that. So today, both sides, they'll probably be a little tired looking there, unless they're patients of Dr. Mitch Matez and use hormone replacement pellet therapy. And then they'll have plenty of energy to get through another day, even though they were there till 2 a.m. Before we get back to the impeachment, your calls are welcome on the impeachment, 1-888-GO-KANE 1. Have any of you seen this new television show with Rob Lowe and Liv Tyler, 911 Lone Star? Oh my goodness. I just got to talk about this briefly. I love Rob Lowe, right? I grew up with Rob Lowe, and coincidentally, when Rob Lowe had what you thought would have been a career-ending incident in that hotel room video back in the 80s, I was staying in that hotel when it happened, and I didn't know it. The Atlanta Hilton. I was in Atlanta, the Atlanta Hilton. I was there. I did not know Rob Lowe was in the hotel, and that's where that big incident happened. But anyway, I'm a big fan of Rob Lowe. It's my generation, man. St. Elmo's Fire. He's great, Rob Lowe. This new television series that he is in, 911 Lone Star, is the most liberal television show I have ever seen. And I'll just tell you about it real quick, and then we'll get back into the impeachment. But they've had 2 episodes. I watched them on Hulu. And he plays a New York City firefighter. He's a captain in New York City, and of course he was at Ground Zero at 9/11. He was at the tower, and he survived, and everybody else in his firehouse was killed. And he moves to Austin, Texas. Is Austin where Beto's from, by the way? I'm not sure. And he's hired by the Austin police, or I'm sorry, the Austin Fire Department, because there was a disaster happened at a fire and an entire firehouse was killed. And they're bringing him there. El Paso, yeah. Yeah. Is he in El Paso or Austin, Rob Lowe, in this new show? He's in one of those. I want to say Austin. It could be El Paso. I don't know. So, yeah, Rob Lowe's great. I love Rob Lowe. But this new show. So, anyway, he gets hired by the Texas Fire Department to put together a new firehouse. The town is down and depressed. The fire department is disheartened because an entire house of firefighters were killed in a tragic accident 6 months before, and he had to do the same thing after 9/11 with his firehouse. So he does this thing, which looks like the scene in the SWAT movie with Samuel Jackson. He travels the country recruiting firefighters for his new firehouse in Texas that he's rebuilding. One firefighter is a Muslim female firefighter from Miami who, unlike all the other firefighters, always has her shirt open and her boobs bouncing, right? He recruits her. Then he travels to Chicago and recruits a black transsexual firefighter to be a firefighter. His son, who works in his own firehouse, is gay. So, and this is the firehouse. Rob, there's a gay firefighter, a trans firefighter, and a Muslim female firefighter. And then there's a white guy who's married to a black woman. That's the new Rob Lowe television series, 911 Lone Star. Oh my God, yeah, it's so strange. You ever see the SWAT? I've seen the SWAT movie with Samuel L. Jackson probably 500 times. I love that movie. And I've watched it many, many times. Remember that scene when he goes around recruiting all of the different cops for his SWAT team? And each of them has their own story. It was the same thing in that. It's so liberal. It's so bizarre. And it's, you know, I've just never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. You want to talk about politically correct, and it takes away from the whole television show. So I'm a little disappointed because I saw I like the I like the 911 show. So I watch that sometimes. And I love Rob Lowe. And by the way, Liv Tyler looks like hell. I mean, he looks like hell. Or she, I should say, looks like hell. Liv Tyler. She really is. Oh, my goodness. She should not be on television until she gets into shape. It's like she looks like Mark Hamill, you know, these days. But when I saw the trailer months ago that Rob Lowe was coming back to television, 911 Lone Star, I was like, oh, that's great. I can't wait. I can't wait to see Rob Lowe back on television. This is spectacular. And then I watched this, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Well, anyway, that's the way it is. You know, and I know a lot of people say, well, what are you, big? You don't like trans or... No, it's not that. It's just, it's so overdone. Okay? It's so overdone. You know, they're hitting you in the head with it. It's not natural or organic. How can you have a firehouse where every firefighter on the fire truck is one of these minorities? White guy married to a black woman. Black guy who's trans, and you don't know if he was born a man or a woman, by the way, yet. Other firefighter is gay. The next firefighter is a Muslim woman who's wearing the traditional Muslim garb on the fire truck, although her chest is always exposed and bouncing around. But, I mean, it's impossible. You know, I saw an article on Twitter yesterday. A critic is attacking period films and television shows coming out of the UK because period pieces, like from the Victorian era, are too white. Well, that's who was there then. I mean, you know, then you got to cast period pieces in other countries, Haiti, Zimbabwe, or Mexico or something. You can't, you know, do a period piece during the age of Victoria in the UK. You know, they're just hitting you over the head with, you know, Harvey Weinstein has destroyed film and television. because this Me Too movement post Harvey Weinstein has gotten so out of control. And I know a lot of people say, why are you watching this crap for? Because I like a little escapism, you know, and the last hour or two before I go to bed at night, I try to unplug the news, watch a movie, watch some TV, fall asleep to it, and have some, you know, escapism from reality. That's what entertainment is, right? Isn't it? Escapism. And when they're hitting you over the head with this, and I feel so sorry for Rob Lowe, that his career is at a point where he's doing, you know, a lot of movie stars go to television later in their career, like, you know, Rock Hudson and others. But when they go out of their way to make it so ridiculous, it's almost like a cartoon. There's no problem with having a Muslim firefighter or a trans firefighter. These things are, you know, acceptable in our day and age. But you can't have everybody on the fire truck part of one of these new victim groups. It's like this new Party of Five that they got going on. Television is just, it's too bad. It's too bad what they're doing to TV. It's just not, these things should be organic and should just be as a matter of factly. It shouldn't be like hitting you over the head with all this political correctness. So the show probably will not make it unless they do some change up. I watched the first 2 episodes of this Rob Lowe, 911 Lone Star. It's on Hulu. And when a show is new, you can't judge a show by the first. You got to give them a few episodes to clean up the trash, okay? They do things in the pilots that they regret, but they can't change it for a few episodes. So I'll give Rob, because I love Rob Lowe, big fan of Rob Lowe. I'm going to give Rob Lowe a break, benefit of the doubt. I'll give him 5 episodes. And if they don't clean it up after 5 episodes, I'm gone, Rob Lowe. All right? I'm gone. And I stood by Rob Lowe after his videotape sex scandal. That's right. I went to the theater and saw Bad Influence, his first film after that. You know, I stood by you, Rob Lowe, during the dark days of that video scandal, but you're really letting me down now. You really are. Oh, boy. All right, well, listen, I know, it's just, can't you do, you know, this is what they do. The liberals destroy everything they touch. So I think we've kind of figured out in the first hour of the show today that the talking point yesterday with the impeachment trial is the Democrats outsmarted the Republicans. That's not what I saw. You know, what I saw was me becoming very proud of someone that I don't really care for that much, and that's Mitch McConnell. You know, Mitch McConnell made a very good case yesterday for no witnesses that I had not considered, you know. And I've heard Lindsey Graham talk a little bit about it too. If they have witnesses, I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be excited for the witnesses. You know, they have this fantasy that John Bolton is going to walk in there. It's going to be very dramatic, right? He's going to sit down and he hates Trump, and Trump did all these wrongs, and John Bolton is going to sit there and throw Trump under the bus. And that's just not the case. I've been following John Bolton for many years because he was out and about all the time during George W. Bush's presidency, and that was a long time ago. And he is, I don't know if is he. Would you consider him to be an ideologue? He's not a political type person. He has his belief system. You know, and the falling out that Bolton had with President Trump is that President Trump was not going hard enough on these other countries. And they have this fantasy. You know, I read this morning, you know, a story that Schumer's trying to work out a deal where they get Bolton and the Republicans get Hunter. Here's the thing. The Democrats are not in control. They're the minority. They have no power in the Senate to speak of. The Republicans don't have to compromise. I don't know what's going to happen at this point so far as witnesses. I still think that there is a game being played by the Trump team to get the whistleblower and Hunter Biden to testify. I really do think they want to talk to the whistleblower and Hunter Biden. You know, the Republican side of the House managers are some Republicans who were gavelled down by Schiff and Nadler, who were not able to ask questions of witnesses in the House hearings. And I think a lot of them want to ask questions, including the whistleblower. You know, President Trump said, you know, what he's going through, he wants justice to be done so presidents 150 years from now don't go through what he went through. You know, and to do that, the abuse that Adam Schiff took part in with this whistleblower statute needs to be exposed. It really does. And this was a scheme that the whistleblower did not come up with by themselves. This was a scheme that was crafted by people. Now, I'm of the opinion that all of what we see going on is Hillary Clinton. Not her personally. She's checked out to lunch. You know, she doesn't know what's going on. When I say Hillary Clinton's behind it, what I mean are the people connected to her, like Podesta, are behind it. I think this whole story with the Ukrainian shakedown by Biden for his son became a big story because of Hillary Clinton's people. I think Hillary is behind all of this to weaken Trump, but mostly she wants to weaken the Democrats that are running for President Biden in particular, so she can come in at some broker convention situation. I'm telling you, that's what their plan is. And she's behind a lot of this. Now, we'll take our first break of this hour. Get back. We'll get into some of the new updates as to everything that's going on. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. That's right. We'll be right back after this. Don't you go anywhere.
A loss of your sexual desire, as well as your ability to have sex, period? This is Dr. Mitchell Matez of the Boca Raton Center for Age Management. I am pleased to tell you about the latest breakthrough in sexual enhancement for women. It's called the O-Shot, and it will change your life. Increased sexual desire, increased sensitivity, and increased stimulation all can be yours with a simple, safe, and painless procedure done in our office in a matter of minutes. As an added benefit, the procedure is also effective in controlling urinary incontinence. If you are interested in better and more pleasurable sex, call my office today at 953-5490. That's area code 561-953-5490, and ask about the O-Shot.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, Mom and Dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own. You need expert professional help, and if your family is disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless, I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery, 561 area
Steve Kane Show.
523-4325.
Steve Kane Show.
This is his personal cell phone, 561-523-4325. If your loved one refuses treatment, the Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option, from intervention to 30-day rehab to sober living to counseling with a licensed therapist, as well as group therapy treatment. It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the Edge Recovery has options for you. Call Sal at the Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone, 561-523-4325.
Our president is being harassed by the left with the impeachment trial. Stand up and support President Trump. Join Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig, as we stand up for President Trump at Wings Plus on State of the Union night, and we are going to watch the State of the Union together. Wings Plus is located about 1 mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road in Coral Springs. Join us and support our president. State of the Union night at Wings Plus. Join Steve Kane and Brian Craig. We'll see you there.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Conservative Doug. You're on the radio.
Good morning, everybody. You know, the first thing, did you hear Nancy Pelosi say, I think...
My wife got it.
I'm hoping I'm wrong, but she said that it's not a matter of the crime, it's a matter of the accusation.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then yesterday, it was either Schiff or Nadler said only guilty people put together a defense. Thought we were presumed innocent under our Constitution, that they're wrapping themselves around. I know, yeah, that's the Democrat Party, man.
Unbelievable, you know. And then yesterday, I was really hoping that when I started watching it, and I had to shut it off because I couldn't stand listening to that shift. Anyway, but he was saying, as soon as he said something negative about the president, I was hoping somebody on our side would say, excuse me, you have no proof of that. I objected at something, but they just left.
Well, I'll tell you, I was glued to it, and but when I agree with you about Schiff. When Schiff, I knew was going to have like an hour. I went and did my podcast then. You know, I figured when Schiff is talking, that's a great time for me to podcast because I'm not going to miss anything. But, you know, you bring up something true. I was expecting to hear some objections, too. When they get into the actual trial phase, I'm wondering if we are going to see that. Are we going to see objections from either side about things that are said and things that happen? When we get beyond... Yesterday, it was just about the procedures. You know, when we get into the actual trial... I wonder if we'll see if that would be. I would like to see something like that happen.
That's for sure, Ian, because this is embarrassing that the American people have to listen to this nonsense and this guy. Oh man, I'm telling you, you know, something else. I never told you this, but a couple of weeks ago I was in Park, and I was on this tram, and who's sitting right in front of me? Debbie Wasserman Schultz with her son.
Wow, where were you? Where were you?
I was in a park in Coral Gables.
Oh, okay.
And it takes you through the park to show you the trees. And
oh.
So, sitting right in front of me is Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Now, typical Democrat would have harassed her, would have demeaned her, said all kinds of things. All I did was talk loudly to my wife so she could hear. So, you know, when the president had his rally, 24,000 people signed up to be on the voter rolls, and I think most of us were Democrats. The guy behind me heard me. He says, yeah, I was a Democrat.
Oh, my goodness.
She gets up, gets off the damn tram, and goes back to the next tram behind us.
Oh, she didn't want to hear it. Yeah, she didn't want to. Well, you know, she's with her kid. I wouldn't say anything to her other than, can I take a selfie with you, Congresswoman? I'd take a picture with her. But were you surprised? Was that the first time you saw Debbie Wasserman Schultz in person?
Yes.
Were you surprised at how wide she is from the waist down?
I didn't really pay attention.
Oh, you missed it. She's huge. Yeah, she's huge.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We got it. Yeah.
Yeah, but if I saw Adam Schiff, I think I'd have to demean him. I'm telling you, that guy is really the most annoying person in America.
I treat people with kindness always. If you've ever met me, I'm a nice guy to everyone, everywhere. And, you know, you don't want to be rude to anyone, especially politicians. Then you buy into what they want to hear. You always want to be polite. You always want to be polite. But you're right. If you were like a Democrat and that was, you know, a Republican kind, the Democrat would go after them. Yeah, the Democrats have no class. They have no decency. You know, conservatives, Trump people are classy people.
Yeah, you know. I don't hate that bad. I mean, she screwed Bernie Sanders, but that was okay with me. But Adam Schiff, I don't know if I could.
You notice though, we don't hear too much from Debbie Wasserman Schultz anymore. She's kind of faded into the background.
Yes, that's for sure. She's her reputation destroyed her, I think.
Yeah. All right, take care, man. Conservative Doug. Mike in Louisiana, you're on the radio.
You know, how you doing, Brian?
I'm doing all right.
You talked about the so-called whistleblower. Problem with that is we need to name him because the guy, his already out there on the internet, you know? It's like,
Well, we don't know. We have not had, people say that, but there has not been an official confirmation of who they are, and that's why you're not going to hear the name here from me, because it's not responsible until we have a confirmation, you know, and calling the whistleblower, you know, people's motive in America, you have the right, the Democrats are wrapping themselves around the Constitution, you have the right to face your accuser. The reason in our legal system that there's a witness protection program is because witnesses cannot give testimony against a defendant in secret. It has to be an open court, and they have to be there because you have a right to face your accuser. And that's why there's a witness protection program. So I believe President Trump has a right through his legal team to face his accusers. And they haven't done that.
right, and that's
Steve Kane Show.
Now, if they do get the whistleblower, do the Democrats allow him
Yeah.
an open court, so-called court? You know?
Well, the Democrats have no authority. The Republicans are running the show. By the way, just unrelated. Do you hear me talking about this Rob Lowe, We Are the World UN fire truck, a Muslim firefighter, a transgendered firefighter, a gay firefighter, a white guy married to a black woman firefighter? Just the most PC firefighter show in the history of firefighting shows.
They did this to, remember Backdraft?
Yeah, great movie. Kurt Russell.
Right. If they had done this with that movie wouldn't have been as successful as it was.
Remember Emergency? I used to love Emergency.
Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that type of thing if I know the character actually exists in the place. For instance, the Batwoman TV show is about a superhero, but
Yeah, she's gay. She's a lesbian. She's lesbian Batgirl. Yeah, lesbian Batgirl. Yeah.
yeah. So
Well, I'm glad she came out as a lesbian because I watched one episode of that new Batgirl because they were doing this crossover, you know, with all these other things. And I couldn't tell if she was male or female. And now that she says she's a lesbian, at least I know.
the problem I have with it is they had to go and get an actual woman that is actually gay to play the role.
Well, that's not acting. The brother on 6 Feet Under on HBO, the guy that played Dexter, he played the gay brother on 6 Feet Under, and I saw him on the red carpet once, and a reporter asked him if he's really gay, and he laughed. He says, you know, when I play a cop in a television show, no one asks me if I'm really a police officer. He says it's called acting. You know? All right, Mike in Louisiana, take care. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, this is Greg from Dallas. I just had a comment.
Yeah.
So they're talking about the fact that we may be in a new age with the Democrats impeaching presidents that they don't like in the future.
Uh-huh.
The only thing I think that would stop that is if in the next election of 2020, the Democrats lose so badly because of this that they would never dare do it again.
Well, see, here's the thing. The Democrats have always behaved this way. Always. Okay? Who was the first Republican president? Yeah. And look at how the Democrats behaved. In that election, okay, in that presidential election, Abraham Lincoln was not even put on the ballot in the southern states. They kept him off the ballot to try to interfere with the election, and he won. And what did they do? They left the Union, and 500,000 Americans are dead because of the Democrats. The Democrats always have behaved this way when they lose election. Well, you know, I was talking about this a couple months ago on the radio. I was Jefferson Davis, the Democrat Confederate president, wrote a book at the end of his life, which I think was in the 1880s or 90s. I can't remember. And I was reading Jefferson Davis's book that he wrote like in the 1880s, 1890s. And he was talking about how unfair the Electoral College was. And it brought Abraham Lincoln, who did not have popular support to the presidency. That's what AOC and Schumer and Pelosi are talking about today, just like Jeff Davis, the president of the Confederation. The Democrats they stole the election in 1960. Richard Nixon beat Kennedy. They stole the election. They tried to do it in 2000 with Al Gore and George Bush. And this is what Democrats have always done.
Well, the Electoral College was to mediate the big populated states so that they wouldn't overshadow the smaller states. It was to balance things out so each state would have a more balanced.
Well, look at these Democrats. What they don't understand in New York and in California in particular, there are millions of people who don't vote because the states are so Democrat they don't bother. They don't become politically active. They don't vote. They don't rally. Trump did not even have a rally in New York or California in 2016. And it's because of the Electoral College. They think if there was no Electoral College that they would sweep, that California and New York would sweep everything. Well, a couple problems with that. The one I just told you. They'd be shocked at how many Republicans would vote in New York and California. And Florida, in 2-3 years, is going to be the most populated state in the union. Florida is growing. That's why the president's moved here and all of that. So, the Democrats, when they lose elections, they've always done this, right? They cheat. They've caused the Civil War.
Yeah, it just seems like they've crossed the line, though, that we've never had, this political impeachment.
No, they have always been this way. This is not new. It's just we're experiencing it now. We're experiencing, and I know there's all these comparisons to Clinton and his impeachment. Lindsey Graham was talking about this the other day, and I didn't really think about it. Lindsey Graham's an attorney, right? He was a military attorney, JAG, and all that. And he said the Democrats had a 45-day process in the House of Representatives that brought us to impeachment. Ken Starr was an investigation over a number of years that led to an impeachment. It wasn't in 45 days like this. And there's no comparison between the Clinton impeachment and the impeachment of Donald Trump. There's on top of the fact that he was committing crimes. But don't think that the Democrats are so lowlife and scummy because they have always been this way. This is not new. We're just experiencing it.
Reminds me of those when a pharaoh would do a coup over a previous pharaoh, and they'd after they took power, they would have the guy's name chipped off all the monuments and stuff.
Yeah,
they want to do with Trump. It seems like they hate him so.
This is something I learned in the 2000 recounts. There was a talk show host who's passed away. Rick Siderman used to be with Stephen, me, and all this stuff. I don't know if you go back far enough to remember Rick Siderman. But Rick Siderman, during the 2000 recount, he said on the show one day, he says, the Democrats know they're trying to steal the election, just like in 1960. But the Democrats believe they represent the people. And since they represent the people, they're entitled to steal the election. That's how Democrats think. Yeah. All right, take care. Thank you for calling. All right, it's 34 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. That's right. We'll take our break and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Kane, we are here this
Be right back, guys.
William Youngerman from William Youngerman, Inc. for our gold report. William, how are you? Welcome to the show. Wanted to ask you the big question, the big one that everyone wants to know. With gold, when's a good time to buy, and when do you sell?
Okay, and the answer to the question, when do you sell, goes back to why did you buy it in the first place? When the reason you bought it is fulfilled, it's time to sell. Or when the reason that you bought it no longer exists, it's time to sell. In 1980, gold hit a high of $850. And people had bought gold all the way up to that level, and at that time, the reason to own gold changed dramatically because we had 25% interest.
Make sure you guys subscribe.
The government said we will stop inflation.
I see my wife's in the chat.
So with very high interest rates, that reason for owning gold then changed, and we dramatically told our customers in 1980, sell your gold, sell. It's finished for the time being. Okay, that was a reason. Now, some people held on because they said, no, I want this as my insurance policy. Insurance policy, you don't necessarily buy and sell your life insurance policies. You have it for a particular reason. And some of your money should always be in gold, regardless of what the price is doing. Historically, we've always said at least 5%. At this particular time, we recommend much higher percentage of our assets being gold, silver, and platinum. So the reason for buying it will determine when to sell it. If that reason changes or is fulfilled, that's the time to sell it. But it must go along with the fact that you understand that gold is the only real money in the world. It is the only thing that has no IOUs or attached to it. It is an insurance policy, and it is a hedge against inflation, and it's the only real money that will maintain its buying power for you in the long term.
Okay, well, that answers that question. If the question becomes where, well, I can tell you where. William Youngerman, Inc., located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. You can drop by. It's in the Bank of America building, right on the first floor, opposite the Bank of America. You can call William at 1-800-327-5010 or go to the website at williamyoungerman.com.
This is your special invitation to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust seminar. Be sure you and your family are properly protected, even if you already have a trust. Learn how to avoid losing an inheritance to predators, like divorcing spouses, lawsuits, creditors, government agencies, and the IRS. This free Living Trust seminar is Tuesday, January 28th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the Courtyard by Marriott in Boca. To attend this free event, call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE, 855-352-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, Friendly Tire. Oh man, Friendly Tire is just great. And, you know, it's just a wonderful thing when, you know, all these great sponsors of the Steve Kane Show that offer great services, all of them do. And I really love getting the great feedback from listeners in the audience when they come up to me and say, wow, you helped me out, I got a great deal, or I'm feeling so much better now that I've seen Dr. Matez, or I've taken care of my family with Barry Siegel. I hear that all the time from people, and it's great. And Friendly Tire is just a great, great, great place. I've been a customer of Friendly Tire for over a decade. They've been with us now on the Steve Kane Show for almost a year, if you can believe, and the prices are so incredibly low. And, you know, it took us a while. Steve and I have been telling Steve about Friendly Tire for years, and he would always tell me, I had to get new tires yesterday, and I would tell Steve, next time you need to buy tires, let me know first. I want you to go to Friendly Tire. And at the beginning of last year, Steve came to work one day, and his tires were just bald. He says, I gotta get new tires. I told him about Friendly Tire, and I called Friendly Mike over there and got the price, and I did the comparisons, okay? And the price, the lowest price I could find at the tire shops around town for Steve's tires, brand new tires, mind you, $175 a tire. And I called Friendly Mike, got the price, $75 a tire. And, you know, Friendly Mike doesn't charge you to mount the tire. He doesn't charge you to balance the tire. He doesn't charge you to dispose your old tire. The price he gives you is out the door and on the road. So I told Steve, it's $175 a tire. Everywhere else, the lowest price out there, it's just $75 at Friendly Tire. Brand new tires out the door and on the road. And all these years, I've known Steve. Remember Greg too said, how long you been with Steve? I said, since 1992. I've known Steve for 28 years. And he didn't believe me. He's like, I don't believe, there's no way. He says, how can they be $175, the cheapest anywhere else, and he's selling brand new tires for $75? I said, Steve, go over there. And Steve went over there, and he called me. He says, Brian, I can't believe it. $75 a tire, brand new, out the door and on the road. And the next day, Friendly Tire was advertising on the Steve Kane Show. And I'm just so glad that they are, because the deals are spectacular just like that. That's $100 savings per tire with Steve. And they also have thousands of used tires in stock starting at just $30 for most sizes. They also do tire repairs, which most places will not do. So listen, just stop right in if you want. The address is located at stevekaneshow.com, 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate. the website, friendlytire.net, or you can call Mike on the phone. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's Friendly Tire. And tell Mike you heard about him on the radio. And send all your friends over there, too. I know. Isn't that spectacular? So, yesterday, because things went so late, there were breaks and there's commentary and all, but I got to tell you, I did not watch CNN or MS-13BC yesterday. I watched Fox News. And I know I've been talking about that a lot this week. I am back on Fox News Channel. I have abandoned Fox News Channel. I've been critical of Fox News Channel. I've been hating on Fox News Channel. Fox News is back. It's respectable, and it's back. But I'll tell you something I really notice on Fox News, and I noticed this a lot yesterday with Brett Baer and Martha McCallum. The makeup on some of the Fox News personalities is awful. Okay? And I'm just wondering if they have a liberal doing the makeup on some of these people. In fact, I tweeted this and tagged Martha McCallum and Brett Baer about it yesterday. I am back on Fox. Fox can be trusted. They are fair and balanced again. And fair and balanced doesn't mean it's all one-sided. They could get rid of... I don't need to hear Chris Wallace anymore. I will give you that. And I will not watch Neil Cavuto. And Juan Williams is annoying. He spoils the five. It doesn't mean they can't have a liberal on the five. But Juan Williams, he's not likable. And that's a problem. You gotta be likable, I think, to be on television no matter what. Alan Combs, the late Alan Combs was great. You know, liberal, all those liberal positions, but he was likable. Juan Williams is detestable. But anyway, Fox News is back. I watched it all day, and it's great analysis, for the most part, of what's going on, you know, and I really enjoy it. And I'm glad that it's come back because I've missed Fox News. I really have. And I know a lot of people talk about One American News. One American News is very, very good. There's a couple problems with One American News. One, it's not on my cable. That's a problem. Two, it's just not polished enough. One American News is very good. Please don't misunderstand me. And the investigative reports they do on One American News are things, it's like Geraldo at Willowbrook. I mean, they do great stuff, okay, on One American News. But what they have on during the day just it's a step above the talent they have on Right Side Broadcasting. I love Right Side Broadcasting because they show everything, but a lot of the people they have on there it's amateur hour. They need to have a little more polished, upper-level people on One American News, okay? I'm sorry, they do. And now that Fox News is back, it's fair and balanced. They have fair and balanced analysis. They still have liberals up there, and I'm not saying that they don't have liberals. Please don't misunderstand me. But they finally, you know, Shepard Smith, since he was in management, okay, Shepard Smith was involved in the atmosphere inside of Fox News, you know. And now that he's been gone for a while, they firmed up Bill Hemmer in the afternoon. They got this lineup change. They got everything's back and permanent now on Fox News Channel. They're gearing up for the election coverage. It's like the old days. It's like the old days of Fox News Channel without Bill O'Reilly. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'd like, but I'm sorry. One American News is okay, and their investigative reports on One American News are tops. I mean, the investigative reports on One American News are equal to Project Veritas, if not superior, a lot of times. So I don't want to talk about those, but overall, it's tough to watch it for hours at a time because the people they have on there just are not that good during the day. So it's nice to have a place to go, isn't it? Yeah, and I didn't watch anything yesterday of MSNBC or CNN. I couldn't, and it didn't even occur to me. I was watching Fox, and I was like, oh, this is great. I just didn't feel a need to turn it off. And I had the television on all day and night, okay, because of the impeachment yesterday. So it's just great. So, and I hope a lot of you feel the same way. All right, listen, let me take this break on time. I want to come back. I do have some sound bites from yesterday I want to play. One with Chris Wallace and a couple of others we'll get to. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running. Someone says, is Fox the new show sponsor? No, but in the chat, someone asked, they should be. They should be sponsoring the show. Oh, my gosh. Well, the reason I'm talking about it is this impeachment trial, the impeachment trial, you need to watch it live. Okay? To do what I'm doing, you've got to experience it live. And to really experience it live, it's got to be on television. And you want a little commentary, you want a little talk during breaks and things like this. As opposed to watching just a live feed somewhere like on C-SPAN, or if there's a live feed online on YouTube or something, And it's nice to have a place that you can watch it and get good, fair, and balanced commentary. Yeah, Fox News should be sponsoring the show. Use the promo code KANE when you watch Fox News, okay? KANE when you turn on your cable box. No. That's right. It should work. It should work that way. Sadly, it doesn't. All right, listen, I'll take a break, then I'll get back into some stuff. There's a story with Elizabeth Warren that should knock her out of the race, and it's not being covered. There's a lot going on to talk about, all right? My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back after this.
Are you looking to sell your house or buy your dream home? Then call LaBella Real Estate. LaBella Real Estate loved President Trump, and like Donald Trump, LaBella Real Estate want to get you the highest dollar amount when selling your home. And when looking for a new home, LaBella Real Estate will find you
Liz
the
Wheeler,
best deal.
I like.
LaBella Real Estate have over 20 years of experience in real estate and mortgages, and they are very knowledgeable about the South Florida real estate market. If it's a condo, single-family home, a luxury home, LaBella Real Estate.
You need more coffee.
Buying or selling.
I pretty much cut coffee out of my life compared to my drinking water. Water is better than coffee.
7023 and online LaBellaRealEstateLLC.com.
If you suffer with
This story with Elizabeth Warren
5%
is
chance
crazy.
You will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life, and foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those
and the press plays in because the press. This is what these people do. They demean, and the press plays in because the press largely is their partner. And one thing, if we could straighten out the press in our country, we would have a place that would be so incredible. The press is so.
You are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before
Liz Wheeler is very
begin.
good.
Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is
Juan Williams, to me, seems like he has hemorrhoids.
Measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at
Well, that could be true, Katina.
597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Attention homeowners, this is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. I'm here to cut your electric bill and save you a lot of money. Perhaps even eliminate your electric bill.
I don't go without it, but I've cut it back
entire home
dramatically.
Energy efficient by upgrading some or all of the following: roofs, doors, windows, insulating your attic, AC systems and ducts, hot water heaters, and even adding solar. Energy-efficient improvements that actually pay for themselves over a short period of time. Our program is designed to make the savings on your electric bill pay for all or part of your low monthly payments. The PACE program is government
You guys got to check out
sponsored,
this
gives
Rob
you up to
Lowe
30
show.
years to pay,
Muslim,
requires no credit check,
transgendered
no money
firefighter,
down, no
gay
income
firefighter.
verification,
There's the,
no
the
payments
one
for up to
straight
18 months.
white
You
guy
only need to be
is
current
Rob
on your
Lowe.
mortgage and taxes for the last 3 years to qualify. Energy
Jack
savings
Posobiec
and
is
hurricane
awesome.
Solutions made easy. Call 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500 to start saving money now.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Okay, certain things happen with candidates that should run them the hell out of office and out of a presidential race. And a story dropped on Breitbart yesterday about Elizabeth Warren, and there's no coverage of this. Elizabeth Warren is the chosen candidate of CNN. And this story with Elizabeth Warren, and I know we're all wrapped up in the impeachment trial, and we should be. So there's a lot of stories that that may not make headlines that normally would, but this one never would. Democrats are kind of like James Bond has a license to kill, and so do Democrats. Democrats have a license to do whatever the hell they want. They can have sex with interns at their desk in the Oval Office, and they get reelected. They're great, And this story with Elizabeth Warren, and there's another big bombshell with Biden today that's getting no coverage. I'll get to it in a little bit later, but listen to this. This is in Breitbart. Democrat presidential candidate, Senator Elizabeth Warren's son-in-law, with whom she is close, has troubling ties to the Iranian regime, according to a new book by Peter Schweitzer. And Peter Schweitzer is a credible man, a voice of credibility. He's the author of Clinton Cash. Yeah. Peter Schweitzer's book, Profiles in Corruption. I love it, play on Kennedy's book. Peter Schweitzer's book, Profiles in Corruption, reveals progressive leaders' little-known ties to corrupt businesses and governments, and discusses Elizabeth Warren in a chapter. The chapter details the business deals of Elizabeth Warren's son-in-law, Sushil Tyagi, I don't know how you, Tyagi, who was married to her daughter Amelia. Her son-in-law was born in India, but moved to the United States, where he met Elizabeth Warren's daughter while they were both pursuing MBAs at the Wharton Business School. Oh, President Trump's alma mater. Warren is close to her son-in-law. She attended her son-in-law's brother's wedding in India, recounting it in her memoir. Elizabeth Warren and her husband in December 2009 served as witnesses for a power of attorney corporate document that he filed in India. Since his marriage into the Warren family, Warren's son-in-law has been involved in a series of curious, even troubling business ventures around the world, Peter Schweitzer writes. Elizabeth Warren's son-in-law runs Tricolor Films. And in 2008, Elizabeth Warren's son-in-law produced a film titled The Song of the Sparrows, which was directed by Iranian filmmaker Majid Mahadi. The film was described as Mahadi's most religious film. It's about a man who was fired from his job on an ostrich farm, moves to the big city, becomes a motorcycle taxi driver, and soon becomes consumed with his passengers' lives as he is swept up into a world of greed. He was the film's sole producer on a New York Times page, and credits to the film, which have now been deleted. A look back at the page's archive, now this is what Peter Schweitzer found out, reveal that the film was funded by the Iranian government agency that is overseen by the Iranian propagandist. So here you've got Elizabeth Warren, who is a top Democrat presidential nominee. Her son-in-law produced a film that was financed by the Iranian government. Now, I don't want to hold someone accountable for everything their family or get involved in. I am the son-in-law of people, and they should not be held accountable for what I do. But I'm not running for president. And if I'm running for president and I have ties to the Iranian government and produced a movie with their funding, that's a lot of money. And I'm running for president of the United States, who is currently involved in a conflict with Iran. These are questions that need to be put out there and need to be discussed. Peter Schweitzer writes, the full credits of the film seem to have been scrubbed from the internet. Schweitzer says he obtained a copy using the Wayback Machine and made a startling discovery. Elizabeth Warren's son-in-law's movie chief investors included none other than the social deputy of the State Welfare Organization of Iran, as well as the Cultural and Artistic Organization of Tehran. These two investors in the film might appear at first glance to be just cultural organizations, but they are not. Both are funded and controlled by the Iranian government. This is Peter Schweitzer talking. So, that's, and you know what? That's something she will never be asked about, will never be held accountable for. Just like Hunter Biden and his son Joe Biden. Now I'm not saying that this is something that should necessarily discount her, but the fact that the story, Peter Schweitzer is one of the most credible people around, isn't he, when it comes to these things? He talks about everybody, Republicans and Democrats. I think Peter Schweitzer is probably one of the best. Is he a journalist? How would you describe Peter Schweitzer? Peter Schweitzer is a voice of credibility that sources all of his information. And you even hear with this bombshell that he uncovered in his latest book on Elizabeth Warren, he cites his sources, the Internet Wayback Machine. So, he is a man of credibility. He doesn't write opinions. He shares factual information that is extremely well sourced. So we're involved in a conflict with Iran. Elizabeth Warren's son-in-law has done big business with the Iranian government. She should be asked about it. It should be discussed. It should be in the news, but it won't. Some made-up lie about something she claims Bernie Sanders said to her. That's all over the place. And, Bernie Sanders may be in a fight for political survival when this impeachment trial is over, against Elizabeth Warren. He would be wise to bring this up. There is a conflict of interest between Elizabeth Warren and this, and unless this is talked about. But it's not going to be talked about because she's a Democrat. Now, I don't know why Democrats have complete immunity and can do whatever they want and get away with it. I don't know, but they do. It's always been this way. It shouldn't be that way. And that's why yesterday, when I saw Mitch McConnell and the Republicans stand up, when Mitch McConnell said the only people that will dictate how the Senate does business are United States senators, and he was talking really about Nadler and Schiff out in the hallway whining to the media, that's spectacular. It's so rare that we see Republicans in Congress stand up to Democrats and treat them like they should be treated, the minority party in the Senate. And when even though these were procedural things yesterday, it was so nice to see these votes happen and the Democrats lose. There was personal satisfaction for me as I was watching it, even though these were just things over procedure. It wasn't like major legislation. It wasn't like they voted down Obamacare. But I guess that's how desperate we are to have Republicans stand up to Democrats, because they never do. And it's all because of President Trump. President Trump gives them the courage to stand up to the Democrats. I mean, imagine if John McCain were in the Senate today, what this impeachment trial would be like. President Trump's future in office would be at risk if John McCain were in the Senate still. Do you understand that? And watching Mitch McConnell stand up to the Democrats, take these votes, and vote the Democrats down and not doing any compromises, I loved it. Oh, no, they had a win. They're going to do it over 3 days instead of 2. So that's a win? I think the Republicans probably don't want to be there 24 hours almost in a row listening to Schiff and Nadler. And that's not a win. That's how much they're losing. that they're spreading it over 8-hour days instead of 2 12-hour days. They're calling that a victory yesterday. All right, if you got to grab onto that. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. 2 hours down, 1 to go. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Indeed, we'll be back right after this.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Are you looking to sell your house or buy your dream home? Then call LaBella Real Estate. LaBella Real Estate love President Trump, and like Donald Trump, LaBella Real Estate want to get you the highest dollar amount when selling your home. And when looking for a new home, LaBella Real Estate will find you the best deal. LaBella Real Estate have over 20 years of experience in real estate and mortgages, and they are very knowledgeable about the South Florida real estate market. If it's a condo, single-family home, a luxury home, LaBella Real Estate can help. Buying or selling, call LaBella Real Estate at 561-445-7023. 561-445-7023. And online, LaBella Real Estate, LLC. This is your special invitation to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust Seminar. Be sure you and your family are properly protected, even if you already have a trust. Learn how to avoid losing an inheritance to predators, like divorcing spouses, lawsuits, creditors, government agencies, and the IRS. This free Living Trust Seminar is Tuesday, January 28th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the Courtyard by Marriott in Boca. To attend this free event, call 1-855-FLA-ESTATE, 855-352-3782.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so
I did that
reasonable,
one.
You don't have to worry
That
about
was
the
me, not
cost.
Kathy, that
So
guy.
call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633.
Did you hear a second ago?
That's 954.
You can hear me on the volume down here. I pulled up the
You
YouTube
can visit them at
chat and did it.
brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
This is Brian Craig. I've been telling
my
you
water?
about the great deals and incredible customer service at Friendly Tire on both new tires and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going for that one, man. Everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man, and Mike's a great guy, man.
Oh, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE 1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE 1. And now...
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. This is the third and final hour of the Wednesday edition of Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Oh, man, great day yesterday. Republicans winning, Trump winning. Democrats were creamed yesterday. We've been talking about that all morning. And Mayor Pete is done, or as we should say, former Mayor Pete. He's no longer the mayor. Mayor Pete is done. There's this embarrassing thing today when he's asking people to applaud for him on the applause line. Oh, my goodness. When something like that happens, you don't ask them to applaud. You just keep on trucking, man. What an embarrassment. But something came out. I went to the Huffington Post today. I check out the Huffington Post every once in a while. And I went to the Huffington Post because I wanted to see what they had on the impeachment, what their take was this morning. And they seem pretty defeated over there on that. But they're really upset with Pete Buttigieg. This is a headline on yesterday's Huffington Post. Pete Buttigieg's mayoral staff was disproportionately, I can hardly even say that word, disproportionately white. That's right. It says here, this is Huffington Post. When you've got the Huffington Post calling you a racist and you're a Democrat running for president, you're done. He's going the way of Beto. At an NAACP forum last year, Democratic presidential contender Pete Buttigieg told the audience that as mayor of South Bend, Indiana, he strived to appointing people who reflect our community. We've not only had better representation, but we've made better decisions. Huffington Post I'm reading from, keep in mind. This is Huffington Post. But a new analysis by HuffPost of the executive staff Buttigieg surrounded himself with during 8 years as mayor found that 2/3 of his executive staff were white in a city that is roughly half non-white. Of the 20 or so staffers who served Buttigieg in high-level positions like chief of staff, deputy mayor, or executive assistants, 2 were Hispanic, 5 were black. Approximately half of the South Bend population is non-Hispanic white, another quarter is black, about 15% Hispanic. They have so many hyphenated things. Half is non-Hispanic white. Am I no longer white? Am I now non-Hispanic white? I'm not white anymore. I'm not white. I'm non-Hispanic white. Oh my goodness. Now I have a hyphen. I'm so excited. In another measure of what critics have often said as Buttigieg runs for president, that during his career in public service, his commitment to diversity has been mainly rhetorical. Pete Buttigieg's remarks at the NAACP event were a response to a critical question about the makeup of his presidential campaign staff. Just days before he left office, The Intercept, as mayor, that is, The Intercept reported that 7 out of the city's 9 department heads under Buttigieg were white, along with 4 of his 6 executive staffers. The Buttigieg campaign disputes those numbers, saying that 6 of the department heads were white and that his executive staff include a 7th member who is black. So his Buttigieg's response is, no, we have 1 black person on the executive staff. That's referred to oftentimes as a token. Among the few people of color in Pete Buttigieg's office was a black administrative assistant, that's a secretary, who has worked for South Bend since 1998, long before he was mayor. So his black secretary, he didn't even hire. She just has been there for a long time. HuffPost's new analysis shows that the racial diversity of Buttigieg's executive staff did not change from his first term as mayor to his second, when he was reelected with a promise to appoint diverse leadership. Research shows that any organization, government, business, you name it, performs better when it's got a diverse makeup and diverse leadership, Buttigieg told the local South Bend News shortly after winning his second term in November 2015. This is a community that one of our strengths is the diversity of the residents who make up this community. The same needs to be true of our city administration, Buttigieg said. As mayor, he worked to promote equity and inclusion. But anyway, he didn't live up to it. He likes to hire white people. And you know what I wonder? See, here's the thing. Okay, and I got a question. This is something I wonder about with Buttigieg. People typically hire in positions like these people they know or people who are friends of people they know. Okay? That's how most things happen. I mean, how many people work around Trump or people that he's known or people that friends recommended? That's how it is in most places like this. Okay? I wonder, and there's no information about this. I read through the whole article. of all of his staffers, in particular the white staffers that he hired, how many of them are gay? How many of them are gay? You know, sometimes I'll go into a store and I'll notice, because you can't help but notice, that there's a disproportionate number of gay people working there. It could be just a regular retail store. And what you'll find is the manager's gay. And they hire people they know and feel comfortable with. And they feel comfortable around either the people they know or other gay people. Right? And that's how most hiring goes. It's not thought about as discriminated against anyone. People hire people they know and people they feel comfortable around. And a lot of gay people feel comfortable around gay people. So they hire other gays or a lot more gays. And I'm just wondering if that's true with Buttigieg's staff. How much of his staff is mayor and how much is of the senior staff on his presidential campaign are gay? And I'm not saying there's something wrong if there's a large number of gay people around him on his staff, either at mayor or the presidential campaign. It would just kind of be a statement about how he does his hiring practices. You know, and it would be an interesting thing to know. He talks the talk, but he doesn't walk the walk, and that's how most people are. When it comes to discrimination in hiring, you'll find among liberals more discrimination than around conservatives, if you call this discrimination. You find less diversity in liberal circles than you do in conservative circles. And the reason that is, and you see this all the time, liberals cannot stand being around people that are not like them. That's what a lot of this Trump derangement is about, right? Trump derangement is they can't stand, they are consumed with hate for anyone who's not exactly like them. You know, Steve and I had an experience years ago, many years ago. We were meeting with a reporter at one of the local newspapers, and they had these Employee of the Month photograph. This was many years ago. It was like 15 years ago. These Employees of the Month of the different departments on the wall in the lobby. And from every department, Employee of the Month was white except for two. The telemarketers for the newspaper and the person that puts the papers in the plastic to throw on the front driveways in the morning, they were black. Everybody else was white. And I told the reporter, I said, this is like a country club in the 50s, looking at these pictures on the wall. And he kind of laughed and said, yeah, I guess so. I never thought of it that way. And we were involved in a thing with one of the local newspapers. They didn't have a prominent news columnist who was a minority. They were all white. And what I realized with this newspaper is why liberals support affirmative action. Liberals support affirmative action because they think everyone is like them, a bigot. They think that everyone will do what they do, hire people they're comfortable with. If they're gay, they'll hire gay. If they're Hispanic, they'll hire Hispanic. They think that people will only hire in diverse numbers if the law requires them to do so. But that's just not the case. So if you're looking for places that are not diverse, go to liberal circles. I mean, look at their presidential race. It's all white. The mainstreamers, right? The ones that are on the stage that qualify, they're all white, 100%. You know, I had an incident happen when I was in college. You know, I went to college as an adult while I was on the air, right? I didn't go to college out of school. I had to work. So my college experience is not a typical college experience, but I was in college after my daughter was born. My daughter was born in 99, and I had, of all classes, I had a sociology class, and the professor was a black liberal guy. And yeah, I was conservative. I'm on the radio and everything, and I kind of kept a low profile. I didn't want people to know, that when I was in college, because these liberal professors, and I kept myself really on the down low because once I had something happen with a liberal professor, and he was listening and called in, and I had to sit in his class for a whole semester. So I was very much on the down low, after that. So anyway, it was sociology, and black liberal professor, he was talking about affirmative action. And one kid in the class, it was a class discussion, he says, well, in this day and age, why do we need affirmative action? And I always sat, when I was in college, in the front row, because I wasn't a kid, I was an adult. I want to be up there where I can hear and I can see when they're writing on the board from my notes and on. I don't want to look at someone's back the whole time. The black professor, and I told this story at the time. So those of you that were listening way back when, you'll remember this story, because this story is a crazy story. So this kid asks him, why do we need affirmative action today? All that stuff's over. The black sociology professor, he says, the reason we need affirmative action, he walks up to me, he puts his hand on my shoulder, and he says to me, the reason we need affirmative action, I didn't ask the question, by the way, somebody else did. He put and then he looks at me, he says, the reason we need affirmative action is because people that look like you will hire people that look like you. And what he was saying is if I were hiring, I would hire white people, because I want to hire people that look like me. And I was shocked that this happened. He had his hand on my shoulder in front of a whole college classroom. And I said, no, that's not true. And he says, all the studies show that people that look like you will hire people that look like them. And I said, that's not true with me. And he said it again. And I said, no. And then he says, what makes you think that you're so different than everybody else and what all the studies show? And I said to him, my daughter is black. Skin color doesn't mean anything to me. The sound of silence in the classroom, and college classrooms are pretty big, and someone way on the other side of the classroom, you could hear them say, because college classes have over 100 people in them, somebody in the back said, you don't know what to say to him now, do you? Could you believe? And I was sorry that happened, because that was just a couple of weeks into the semester, and I had to sit in that class for the rest of the semester. I did get an A in that class, by the way, but I studied extra hard. He was embarrassed, and I didn't want to embarrass him, and I don't know if he would pull that act again with some white guy sitting in the class. But that's a true story. And I talked about it on the air when it happened. It was a beautiful story and a beautiful incident. And that was just like, oh, man. I got to play the race card. It was the first time I got to play the race card, having an interracial family, So I got to play that race card. And I'll tell you, that race card's pretty effective. It shuts people down pretty quickly. I don't like to do that, But it happened that time. That was glorious. I love it. So anyway, the point is, Buttigieg is typical. His staff is almost all white, and probably overrepresentative of gays too. And that's just how liberals are. Liberals are bigots, right? They're bigots. They don't care for Christians. They don't care for diversity. They don't care for people. But they think they do, but they don't. That's why you find the real diversity among conservatives. And it's natural. It's not some social engineered situation like on this Rob Lowe television show that I was talking about in the last hour. All right, listen, it's 19 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Suffer from excruciating back pain or sciatica, pay careful attention to what I'm about to tell you. According to a study in the medical journal Spine, back surgeries to alleviate back pain frequently backfire, leaving the patient in more pain than before they had the surgery. A second study from the University of Cincinnati College of Medicine provides clear evidence that 74% of surgeries for back pain fail. But there is an end to your suffering. There's a solution to your problem waiting for you with Dr. Troy Lemaski. Dr. Troy Lemaski is my personal chiropractor, and if the name sounds familiar, it should. He's the brother of Dr. Janae Lemaski. Dr. Troy specializes in the elimination of back pain, sciatica, joint pain. He does it quickly, easily, and without surgery or pain medication. While he can help you with your back and neck pain, Dr. Troy also provides treatment to the hips, the shoulders, the knees. If you've been in a car accident, any type of injury, or slip and fall, the pain won't go away, well, if you want to get back to your old self, you want to call Dr. Troy. His number 954-463-3036. That's 954-463-3036. Online at drtroylemaskey.com. Tell him that Steve Kane sent you.
Homeowners, would you like to save money each and every month? Of course you would. We all want to save more money. But how? By calling I Will Advisors. That's how. At 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
It is flying by.
Team review your homeowner's policy. I Will Advisors will review your policy at no charge. Most homeowners never review their policy, but it should be reviewed every year. You commercial property owners, same goes for your property insurance policy. So what are you waiting for? Call I Will Advisors and
I haven't seen any falling from the trees.
954-753
I'm hoping they do.
954-753-8080.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right. And don't forget, Brighton Dental, for Steve Kane listeners only, offering a free exam and free x-rays. Free exam, free x-rays, and also a free second opinion. If you've been to a dentist and they've told you need this done, that done, go to Brighton Dental. Dr. Gupta will give you a free second opinion as well. So again, free exam, free x-rays, and a free second opinion if you need one. Call Brighton Dental, 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. Now, while I did not watch MS-13BC or CNN yesterday, I did catch online some of the things that happened there. I pulled off one clip from yesterday's MSNBC with Chris Matthews and with the impeachment trial. And yesterday was a brutal day for the Democrats. You know, it was brutal. They lost everything. They look like fools. They're whining before and after, and they're despicable people. But let me play this. This was an interesting thing here. This is Chris Matthews talking about, well, all the events of yesterday.
President who hasn't committed a crime. And to the right wing, or to the Trumpites, that's a good talking point. To the non-attentive voter, I think Trump always loves the low information guy.
Okay, see right there? Trump loves the low information guy. Trump has another rally where 10,000 people have tried to get tickets to already. Right? If you support Trump and think he committed no crime, you're a low information guy, and President Trump loves low information people the best. Let me go back and play the whole thing, though, because he's got a lot to say.
Who hasn't committed a crime. And to the right wing, or to the Trumpites, that's a good talking point. To the non-attentive voter, I think Trump always loves the low information guy. The Dancing with the Stars, who cares more about Harry and Meghan or about Brad and Jennifer, and there are a lot more people, by the way. Watch the other channels. They care about those topics. It works. No crime, no harm. And I think that by the Urshan's, he did on you, he had that little Skype operation he was doing in his bedroom somewhere, you know? And then over the weekend, everybody put him on. And then the White House makes that their defense. No crime, no impeachable offense. And they won the transition game, as we say in basketball. They won the transition game. Well, and now these guys, and by the way, everything that Adam Schiff says there is right, everything is defensible. It's a good courtroom argument to a very attentive jury.
Okay, to a very attentive jury, but those of us supporting the president, we just don't understand. We're low information voters. You know, this low information voter is, I have heard this several times on national TV, and it's always been MSNBC. And the first time I heard low information voter was from Ed Schultz. Ed Schultz, who's passed away. He was a real piece of work, Ed Schultz. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah, Ed Schultz, you know, and Ed Schultz was talking about low information voters. I've heard it 3 or 4 times over there over the years. It's not something you hear every day. But that tells you, you know, MSNBC is proudly liberal, right? They got their socialists they have on at night, Lawrence O'Donnell. They're proudly liberal. They don't even hide it. They don't pretend to be journalists. They are liberal, and they're proud of it. And that is how the left look at all of the regular voters. Unless you're in New York City or in Los Angeles, you're a low information voter. You don't understand. And, you know, there's a common theme with the left, and it's going with the impeachment trial too, that the reason that we are winning, that Trump is winning, we are winning, and they are losing, is not because we're right and they're wrong. They're right. Remember, he said everything that Schiff said is right. It's that we're not smart enough to understand what they're saying to us. And if we were higher information and more and educated at Princeton, Harvard, Yale, or Columbia, we would get it. Yeah, that's the intellectual, that's the intelligentsia of the left, and that's how they are. And they think that whenever they lose, they either think there was some type of disservice done to them, some type of scam, an election was stolen, Russian interference. You know, I was watching Schiff a lot yesterday, and Nadler too, talking time and time again about Russian interference in the election. What are they talking about? What specific, have you heard them give a specific instance of Russian interference in the election? And you really got to think about this now. You really got to think about this. What they are telling us is this. They're not claiming that Russia interfered in the vote count or the voting machines or any tabulations or anything. They're telling us that Russia had social media ads out there that influenced voters. Okay? Now, I have seen some reporting that there were Facebook groups and things that Russia set up. So they claim. I don't know, but they say this. How do you turn someone who is ready for Hillary, pro-abortion on demand, pro-increased taxation, wants to shut down coal mining, wants to have an open border, and believes all this green crap, and whatever other liberal positions Hillary has, and then they see a post on Facebook or a Facebook group or something, and then all of a sudden they're for lower taxes and they want to build a wall. They're no longer ready for Hillary. They're voting for Trump. If there is someone out there who has created a Facebook group or a social media ad that switches someone that is ready for Hillary into a Trump voter, I want to know who that is. I want to see that ad, that post, that group, because whoever that is the marketing genius of our time. Don Draper times 5,000. Because there are no two people more polar opposite than the Hillary Clinton viewpoint on everything and the Donald Trump viewpoint on everything. So when they talk about Russian interference, they never give you a specific, but they did in the early days, and it was Facebook ads, social media ads. There's nothing that could turn someone from one political extreme to the other like that just because they saw a Facebook group or saw an ad pop up on their feed. To me, it's impossible. And, one day far in the future, people are going to look back at these Democrats talking about Russian election interference, and they're going to be laughed at by intellectual type people because what they're saying is so ridiculous. It's so absurd. But they keep saying it. And, I think that Schiff and Nadler believe it. I think they've convinced themselves of their own propaganda. All right, let's take our bottom of the hour break. It's 8:30 in the morning. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show. That's right, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, mom and dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own. You need expert professional help, and if your family is disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless, I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery, 561 area code 523-4325. This is his personal cell phone, 561-523-4325. If your loved one refuses treatment, the Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option, from intervention to 30-day rehab to sober living to counseling with a licensed therapist, as well as group therapy treatment. It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the Edge Recovery has options for you. Call Sal at the Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone, 561-523-4325.
Attention homeowners, this is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. I'm here to cut your electric bill and save you a lot of money. Perhaps even eliminate your electric bill altogether. We do this by making your entire home energy efficient, by upgrading some or all of the following: roofs, doors, windows, insulating your attic, AC systems and ducts, hot water heaters, and even adding solar. Energy efficient improvements that actually pay for themselves over a short period of time. Our program is designed to make the savings on your electric bill pay for all or part of your low monthly payments. The PACE program is government sponsored and gives you up to 30 years to pay. Requires no credit check, no money down, no income verification, and no payments for up to 18 months. You only need to be current on your mortgage and taxes for the last 3 years to qualify. Energy savings and hurricane solutions made easy. Call 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500 to start saving money now.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeart.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. It's time to check in with Janet from Save-A-Lot. Hey, Janet, good morning.
And I'm here with health news your listeners can use. And nothing supports your good health like a good night's sleep. And so many people are just stressed and their minds won't turn off when they get into bed at night. And I have some solutions for them. So if they come to Save-A-Lot with us investigating the things that I'm going to talk about this morning, they'll get 15% off already low prices that they see on all of these products. Jarl Formulas has a product called Sleep Optimizer. 2 or 3 of those at bedtime, and you will have start to finish good night sleep. Melatonin. Cal Formulas has a liquid 3 milligram melatonin formula that works like a charm. So many people say, I've tried melatonin and it doesn't work. Try Cal Liquid 3 milligram melatonin. It works like a charm. You need a good foundation. So how about a high quality chelated magnesium? You don't want inexpensive magnesium oxide that you might get at a drugstore. You need it bound to an amino acid. That's that nice foundation to make Jarl Formula Sleep Optimizer, the Cal Melatonin Liquid, or even my best sleep formula, Highlands Calms Forte, if people want a homeopathic solution to their sleep problems. I'll be at Save-A-Lot Friday, 12 to 5. You can listen to me at naturaldocradio.com. You can bring in your tests, your diagnoses, your medications, and I'll review all of it and get you focused on the best night's sleep ever.
Yeah, that's right. And Save-A-Lot is located in Margate, just south of Sample Road on the west side of 441 State Road 7. If you have any questions, they ship anywhere. 754-307-1655. And again, everything for the New Year's special is going on right now. Everything is 15% off the already low price at Save-A-Lot. 754-307-1655. All right, Janet, take care. We will talk tomorrow. All right, take care. You know, I learned something in the 2016 election that I did not know, and that it is illegal to take pictures of your ballot when you vote. And I couldn't even believe this was true. And what happened on Election Day in 2016, well, we're in the day of the selfie, right? If you ever run across me, you've probably taken a selfie if you've met me in the last year. So I'm always taking selfies. On Election Day, people were so excited to be voting for Donald Trump that they were taking photographs of their ballots, not all selfies, sometimes just ballot photos, and posting it on social media. And before noontime hit on Election Day, the leftists were already told, oh, you can't do that, you can't, it's illegal, it's illegal. It is true, it is illegal in a lot of states. And the reason they tried to suppress that so quickly is because, well, they didn't want that momentum to be seen on social media. Well, this is great news. The Wisconsin State Senate has a new bill to legalize ballot selfies. And photographing a completed ballot is illegal in 18 states. Florida is one of them. So Ron DeSantis, let's get the ballot selfie bill going in Tallahassee. I mean, this is ridiculous. I would very much like to be able to go and vote. I usually vote. Sometimes I vote early, but with Trump, I vote on Election Day because I want to do it on Election Day and have the excitement, you know? I want to go in and be able to take a photograph with my ballot for Trump and hold it up, take a selfie, and put it on my Instagram, put it on my Twitter or anywhere else, or just keep it for myself. So any Republicans out there, let's talk to Governor DeSantis. Let's get the ballot selfie bill on the ballot here, because liberals hate that. They hate that. When they're trying to steal elections all over the place and millions of people have their ballots for Republicans posted online, it makes their vote theft operation a little inconvenient. And that would be a new exit poll. If people started taking ballot selfies and posting them on social media, people would go to that and start calculating how many votes particular candidates have. They love exit polls, the media. That's an exit poll they don't want. And there's another reason the left oppose it, too. Why do you think liberals oppose ballot selfies? On top of the one I just said, they don't want to see millions voting Republican. A lot of people that you think would vote Democrat do vote Republican, especially in this election. A lot of people will vote for Trump, but they don't want their friends, their bosses, their union buddies to know, too. So the one downside with the Democrats is Democrats will start requiring people in their unions and other groups to take a picture with their ballot to make sure that they voted right. There was after the 2000 recount, there was talk of giving receipts for people when they voted so they know how they voted. And one of the things that stopped them from doing that is people were afraid the union bosses would be outside of the voting locations and people would have to turn in their receipt to make sure they voted down the union line. So, you know, the Democrats, as nasty fascist as they can be, it would be a problem. But I think we need to have the ballot selfie bill in Florida. All right, good morning. You're on the air. Yes, Al.
Yes, and votes. Back in 1983, the vote for Martin Luther King Day, there were 89 bigoted Republicans who voted against it. In 86, John McCain was one of the 18 senators who voted against Martin Luther King being a national holiday.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. John McCain was against honoring Martin Luther King. Yeah, maybe Megan. Did Megan McCain talk about that on The View Monday, about her father voting against Martin Luther King Day?
Yeah. Well, he said he regretted doing that, but that's just...
Of course he regretted.
But,
no, I was on Martin Luther King Day. I was talking about that. You know, I can see no other legitimate reason to oppose Martin Luther King Day than you didn't like Martin Luther King and you're a bigot. Yeah, sure. Yeah, a lot of Republicans were opposed to the Martin Luther King holiday. But you're talking, what year was the Martin Luther King Day passed by the federal government into a national holiday?
86. But
Yeah.
83, it passed the House, but for 3 years, it didn't get passed in the Senate.
Yeah. Now let's talk about this, though. John McCain voted against the Martin Luther King national holiday, right? Now, why do you think John McCain voted against it?
Because a good percentage of Republicans.
Because he was a bigot. Because you would have to be to vote against the Martin Luther King holiday, you'd have to be a bigot, right?
Yep.
Okay, so John McCain was a bigot. Okay, so you're saying that John McCain was a bigot, right? You're saying John McCain was a bigot?
Not when he died.
He was a bigot. He was a bigot in 1986, but when he died, he was not a bigot because he was opposing Trump. What happened in John McCain? John McCain, who was involved in that savings and loan scandal and everything. What happened to John McCain where you say, okay, he's not a bigot anymore?
You know,
Steve Kane Show. I got you. Steve Kane Show.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Yes. You say he was a bigot in 86, McCain, but he wasn't when he died. So what happened? What was the incident? How was he a bigot in 86, but not...
Over the years, he grew as a human being, and when he passed away, I would say he was no longer a bigot.
Yeah, because he hated Trump, and you had a bond with him. No, I think he was always a bigot. I think he was a bigot in 86. I think he was a bigot when he passed away. And John McCain was also no Republican. He was also no Republican. He was a rhino.
I understand, that...
No, Trump did nothing wrong. Trump did nothing wrong. Nothing.
But withholding money... It's called a violation of the Impoundment Act, and the government accounting office said by withholding that money for 2 months, he violated the law.
Who said that? So by withholding the money that he gave Ukraine, he violated the law? He gave them the money. No, he gave them the money. They got the money. I don't know what you're talking about. And I don't understand why the Ukraine is entitled to this money. It's like they're welfare king and queen living in the project somewhere. Why is the Ukraine entitled legally to American money?
For invading them.
Yeah.
Over 15,000 Ukrainians had already died in the war there. So it was...
Do you believe which side was the just side in the American Civil War? The North or the South?
The North.
Okay. Why did Lincoln go to war with the South? And other than, I know we were attacked at Fort Sumter and all, but why did Lincoln take us to war? What did he say the South could not do?
They would, eventually in 83, he freed the slaves.
In 83, he was dead by 1883. No. Lincoln said that states could not leave the Union, right? Correct? He said a state did not have the right to leave the Union. That was Lincoln's position. Absolutely. Okay, so slow down. So Abraham Lincoln said states did not have the right to leave the Union. Thus, his war was not to free the slaves, it was to keep the Union intact, right? Keep the Union intact. Well, Vladimir Putin believes that Ukraine is part of Russia. He believes that Ukraine has illegally seceded from the Russian Federation. He has an opinion about Ukraine that is really the same opinion that Lincoln had of the South.
Well, you really are Putin's most prominent propaganda puppet.
Well, it's true. It's true. What was it used to be the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, and Ukraine was one of those republics. They've left and he believes that Ukraine is Russia. Like Lincoln believed that Virginia and all the, and Kentucky and Georgia were the United States.
I mean, do you spend a lot of time with your Putin blog, though? I mean.
Well, isn't that Putin's position? Well, slow down. I mean, isn't that what Putin's is that not what Putin's position is? Well, you're opposed to him, so you must know what he's against. All right, take care. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, Brian. I just called up to voice an opinion as far as what a lot of senators regarding Martin Luther King's national holiday.
Yeah.
A lot of them were against it because, none of our presidents have a national holiday. We used to have Lincoln's birthday, George Washington's birthday, and then they combined it. Now, they were against Martin Luther King because, how does that look there when you don't have a president's birthday anymore, but you do have one?
Well, hold on. Listen, I was in middle school and high school during that debate, okay? So I do remember Lincoln and Washington each had their own day, and they were only like a week apart, right? They were very close together. And now we have President's Day. And Lincoln's birthday and Washington's birthday were both separate federal holidays, and they did combine them in the President's Day. And I remember being in school, being I think we got out of school for both, and it was so exciting because we had short weeks both weeks, and all of that. That's an excuse. I mean, come on. There's no real reason to oppose Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King Day is a great day. It should be a day. It should be a federal holiday. And yeah. But let's own it. I mean, let's own it. Let's be honest. We had a lot of. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. What I mentioned there was the reasoning behind it.
That was the excuse. Because I know. Some of them talked of. I remember hearing Republicans at the time. Now again, my recollection is from that of a child. I was in high school and middle school. Okay, so in 86, I was 15, so I was like in 9th grade or maybe 10. I don't know. But, so, and you were probably an adult. So, our recollections are clouded by, different stages in life. But with all that being said, I remember some Republicans saying that it was costly to have a federal holiday because the government has to shut down and we got to pay the federal workers, et cetera, et cetera. I heard that excuse too. It looks like what it is. It looks like bigotry to me to oppose Martin Luther King holiday. Okay, take care, man. All right, you too. All right, let's take our last break of the day. We'll be back.
Of your sexual desire, as well as your ability to have sex, period. This is Dr. Mitchell Matez of the Boca Raton Center for Age Management. I am pleased to tell you about the latest breakthrough in sexual enhancement for women. It's called the O-Shot.
Hey there.
And it will change your life. Increased sexual desire, increased sensitivity, and increased stimulation all can be yours with a simple, safe, and painless procedure done in our office in a matter of minutes. As an added benefit, the procedure is also effective in controlling urinary incontinence. If you are interested in better and more pleasurable sex, call my office today at 953-5490. That's area code 561-953-5490, and ask about the O-Shot.
Homeowners, would you like to save money each and every month? Of course you would. We all want to save more money. But how? By calling I Will Advisors. That's how. At 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. And have their expert team review your homeowner's policy. I Will Advisors will review your policy at no charge. Most homeowners never review their policy, but it should be reviewed every year. You commercial property owners, same goes for your property insurance policy. So what do you you waiting for? Call I Will Advisors and start saving money. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for...
All right, we are back. By the way, those of you that are wondering, Steve will be back tomorrow. Okay, he'll be with us tomorrow. My name is Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman with this morning's Gold Report. William Youngerman, good morning.
After again getting down below 1550, closing at $1,557.80 the ounce. Silver was down 28 cents, closing at $17.74. Again, the number for silver is trying to get through the resistance is $18. Platinum having some hard time staying above 1,000. Closed yesterday down $19 at $998. Palladium dropped $128 yesterday, very volatile at $2,286. This morning, gold opening a little bit almost unchanged, but it did get down overnight again to that 1550 number, closing down right now $1.80 at $1,556 the ounce. Silver's up 6 cents at $17.80. Platinum is up $4 at $1,002, and palladium is up $35 at $23.21. So again, gold having a hard time staying above that 1560 number, but I suspect it'll be breaking through real soon. Any kind of dips down to that 1550 number are certainly still a buying opportunity.
So that's all good news. And, of course, Valentine's Day around the corner. Don't forget to do your Valentine's Day jewelry shopping, jewelry, watches at William Youngerman. Great prices on those. Give them a call, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, williamyoungerman.com. The address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton. That's just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road in the Bank of America building. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care, take care. This is just an amazing story. I tweeted this yesterday. This is amazing. The average unemployment rate by our past 6 presidents, both Bush's, Clinton, Obama, Reagan, and Trump. Okay, this is the unemployment rate among our past presidents, and we'll start with Ronald Reagan. During the first 35 months of their term, which is what President Trump is in, okay? Listen to this. Ronald Reagan, 9% unemployment rate. Oh my goodness, 9%. H.W. Bush, Bush 1, Bush the father, Bush 41, 5.9% unemployment. Bill Clinton, unemployment rate. We always hear about this Clinton economy, how great it was. Unemployment rate under Bill Clinton, 6.2%. George W. Bush, the unemployment rate under George W. Bush, 5.5%. Barack Obama, during the first 35 months of his term, Barack Obama, the unemployment rate under Barack Obama, 9.3%, the highest of all of those presidents. So 9.3% with Obama, the lowest unemployment rate by our past presidents, before Trump, of course, 5.5% with W. Unemployment rate under Donald Trump, first 3 years in office, 3.9%. The lowest since whenever, right? When has unemployment been this low? 3.9% unemployment. The lowest of any of our past 6 presidents, which goes back almost all of my life. That's absolutely amazing. That comes from Fox Business, I saw that. That's absolutely insane. That's why you don't hear anybody saying people vote their pocketbook, because they know they do, and the economy is going like gangbusters. The economy is booming. I saw a story last week. They always talk about the flu shot and the flu. There's an increase in the flu, And they were talking about this on the 5. I think it was Friday. It was one day last week on the 5. They were talking about an increase in the flu and why this had happened. And Juan Williams said people need to get the flu shot. And there was pretty much agreement on that people don't get the flu shot. They should get the flu shot. And there is, the flu is worse this season because people aren't getting the flu shot. Well, I don't think that's the case. Why do you think more people have the flu this year than last year and the year before? Why do you think? It's not the flu shot. I don't get the flu shot. I've gotten it a few times. It always makes me sick. I don't get it. I'll never get it again. The reason there's an increase in the flu this year is not because people are not getting the flu shot. There's an increase in the flu because Trump's economy is booming and people are traveling more. And that's where people get sick. People get sick on airplanes. They get sick at tourist destinations. This is what happens. So more people are getting the flu this year, not because they didn't get the flu shot. It's because Trump's economy is doing so well. People are traveling more. They're flying more. And people get sick on aeroplanes all the time. That's why. I didn't hear anybody on the 5 come up with that one. I was waiting for it because that's the obvious. I thought Jesse Waters would come up with that, but they didn't, but that's why. So I guess we could say Trump is responsible for an increase in flu in the country because he can't help that, but that's what happens when the economy is doing so well and people are traveling more. I mean, think about how many of you out there have done more traveling, have gone more places because of the economy doing so well. And you know what? I think that's a very valid point because they do agree. Everybody agrees people are traveling more. That's when you get sick. How many times you fly somewhere, you come back, you get sick? I go to Disney World all the time. I always keep stuff in my pocket. I'm always washing my hands up to my elbows like a surgeon all the time because, you touch things and there's sickness everywhere. That's why it is. Now, one last quick thing, and then we'll end for today. We'll be back tomorrow live at 6 a.m. Steve Kane will be back tomorrow as well. If you're wondering where Steve is, don't worry. Steve's okay. He'll be back tomorrow. Chick-fil-A, which has really been bending to leftist groups, I'm expecting them to be open on Sundays. They're bending so much to liberal groups. Story came out this week. San Antonio has spent over $300,000 trying to keep Chick-fil-A out of its airport. They're trying to open up. I love Chick-fil-A. I eat there often. And, one thing about Chick-fil-A, if you ever go to Chick-fil-A, no matter what time of day, there are a long, long line. In fact, Chick-fil-A, it's crazy, how long the lines are at Chick-fil-A. People love Chick-fil-A. And it's amazing with all of the negative publicity and activism that has gone against Chick-fil-A. Even Buttigieg, he said, I like Popeyes better. I don't like Chick-fil-A because he thinks they're anti-gay. They're not anti-gay, okay? And it burns me up inside when that lie gets told about them. But spending over $300,000 just to stop a Chick-fil-A to come in their community, I tell you, liberals, they're out of their minds. All right, listen, we are all out of time. Today is day 2 of the impeachment trial. We talked a lot about it earlier in the show. It's just a great time. I'm loving the trial. I hope it continues to be so. I think it will. We won yesterday. We won the day yesterday. We'll win the day today. It's exciting stuff. All right, everyone. My name's Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We will be back live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Take care, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. All right, guys, take care, all right? If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I'll see you later. Take care. Thanks for watching.